Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Was it a Saturday filled with sunshine, smiles, and enough home runs to go around? Yankees fans had a whole lot to be happy about after an offensive onslaught helped the Bombers start the new year with back-to-back victories. They'll try to keep the good times rolling today with a season-opening sweep at stake. It's the New York Yankees hosting the Milwaukee Brewers on a Sunday afternoon at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. I'm Nancy Newman. Sometimes it may take a few games before hitters lock into the rhythm of a brand new baseball season. Not this year. The Yankees put on an offensive display of historic proportions yesterday. Records were falling like shooting stars as the stars in pinstripes shined brightly in the light of day. It is a highlight reel of homers. And the Bombers were blasting off from pitch one, Goldschmidt to left center to lead it off. Then Bellinger, he followed with a towering shot to right center. Easy as 1, 2, how about 3? The captain's first homer of the afternoon came on the third pitch of the game. Austin Wells made it 4 dingers in the opening frame, a 4-0 lead. In the second inning, how about a 3-run shot for Anthony Volpe, his second of the year. Then the second of the game for Aaron Judge, deep to center field. Jazz Chisholm Jr. went back-to-back, a high fly ball to right field, the 7th of the game. On to the 4th inning, it's Judge again, the third 3-run homer of the game of his career. And the record-breaking blast, Oswald Peraza. He didn't start the game, but he drove the Yankees into the record books in a big way. Bronx Bombers, indeed. This marks the first time in Major League history that a team homered on the first 3 pitches of the game. Also, the first time the Yankees went back-to-back to start a game. The 1 through 6 hitters homered for the 3rd time in MLB history. 9 home runs. That's a Yankees record. 11 homers in the first 2 games. That's an MLB record. Here's what the captain had to say in the quote of the day, courtesy of Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees.
It all started with Goldie, there in the first at-bat, first inning, getting things going. Just all around having a great plan going into the game and going out there and executing it.
Can you describe that first inning when it's Goldie, Bellinger, you going back-to-back, Wells getting in on the action later?
Well, that was a fun inning. Like I said, guys going up there with conviction. They had a plan, and we went out there and executed. But we were really feeding off the fans today. They were rocking there in the first.
How much energy do these fans bring you? I saw you go out there and salute them. Obviously, the curtain call today. How much extra does that bring out of you?
Oh, we love it. This is even last year, these fans came out in numbers, always cheering us on to the end, and we're going to do it again this year and have something special for them. 3
home runs for you. What clicked for you at the plate?
Just trying to be on time. That's the biggest thing. You're on time, ready to hit, and especially we got all the traffic on the bases. Guys in front of me are getting on base. It makes my job easy.
Well, the captain, Aaron Judge, right back in there, batting 3rd in today's lineup. In addition to his 3 homers yesterday, he had 8 RBIs, the 5th Yankee all-time to do that. The rest of the lineup is mostly the same as Saturday outside of Ben Rice at DH, Oswaldo Cabrera at 3rd base. For the Brewers, good numbers against Marcus Stroman for Christian Yelich. He has a homer, 3 RBIs, and 3 walks in 12 at-bats against the Yankees righty. Bryce Terang jumps from the 9th spot all the way to the top of the lineup for the series finale. It is time for our first break on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Coming up next, our Michael Kay joins the show. After 9 see-yas yesterday, he's warmed up and ready to go. That's next on Yes on the Gotham Sports app.
Yankees batting practice today is presented by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Trying to be the best we can be. I mean, it's one of the things that's, got pointed out. But, I say to you guys all the time, we're trying to win on the margins and trying to get, and that shows up in so many different ways, whether you see, bat models, we saw the momentum steals that Volpe does. You see shifts. Like when I say those kind of things, like we have a big organization that are invested in a lot of different things where we're trying to be better in every possible way.
Welcome back to Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. As promised, our Michael Kay joins us now. And Michael, what a Saturday in the Bronx. So many storylines, not the least of which was the one that you pointed out and Aaron Boone addressed this morning, the new torpedo bats. MLB was quick to clarify the custom bats do not violate any rules. But what a fascinating subject this is. What are your thoughts?
Well, it is fascinating, and I'm glad that it came out yesterday because when people think of analytics and the analytics department of teams, they think nerds and stuff like that, and they're pushing these unorthodox things. They are working tirelessly, every single person in an analytics group in baseball, trying to get an edge, as Aaron Boone said so well, on the margins. And they looked and they saw where the balls were hitting off the bat, so they decided to put more of the wood in the areas where the balls are being hit. So maybe a little dinker might be a line drive into a gap. I think that's the value of analytics because they are looking at everything. They're trying to get an edge in every single way. And what they did was come up with what is called a torpedo bat. And the day that it comes out, the day that I say it on the air, they end up hitting 9 home runs. But it's not cause and effect because Aaron Judge, he doesn't use it. And as Aaron Boone said later on in his press conference this morning, the bottom line is some guys want to use it, some guys don't. Some guys think it helps, some guys don't. He said, we want to present options to everybody. So Judge didn't use it, and he had 3 home runs. So it's just trying to find an edge. And the Yankee analytic people, I think, did a great job finding the edge on this one. But now that it's out there after 2 games, I'm sure there are about 25 teams that didn't have an idea about this that are scrambling today.
Oh, yeah, the copycats, they'll be out. Okay, let's talk offense. And, yeah, you touched on him, the captain, Aaron Judge. He made it back to back to start the game, then added his 9th career grand slam, then added a 2-run shot. His 3rd career 3-homer game, 9 Yankees home runs, en route to a football final score of 20-9. They brought the thump. You brought the see-yas. What's in store today?
I'll tell you what, Aaron Judge is so special. I think we're spoiled. I think we are because we see him every day. He's in his 10th year, and we just expect things like this. But he's doing stuff that you never really see. The year that he put together last year is one of the greatest right-handed hitting years of any player in the history of baseball. Last year he had a ho-hum April. A lot of people were whispering, wow, has he taken a step back? Well, then from May on, he was unbelievable and finished with 58 home runs. So he's already has more home runs and more RBIs than he did after 18 games last year. So he's off to a great start, and the sky is the limit with this guy. He's a very, very special player, and we should enjoy it. The Yankees used to have a saying when they were going through their tough years, at any moment, a great moment. Well, with Aaron Judge, that's a living proof. Any moment, a great moment. This guy could give you a game like he gave you yesterday. Any single day, you turn on Yes and watch him.
Meanwhile, Max Fried's Yankees debut, we must talk about it a little bit. It wasn't what he hoped for. It did take a backseat to the power offense, as did the defensive miscues. I just want to get your thoughts on his first start in pinstripes.
I don't think he had great command, but the bottom line is if you watch the game, a lot of slow toppers getting on top of the ball, and that's what he's all about. He's not about strikeouts. He's about slow, easy contact. Now, that means your defense has to do its job, and the Yankees made 5 errors for the first time in the game since 2018. That doesn't happen very often. I know that they worked during the offseason to shore up that defense, and this is a legitimately good defensive team. It didn't show yesterday, and to show you sometimes these things are a blip on the radar screen, Max Fried's one of the best defensive pitchers in baseball. He has 3 Gold Gloves, and he threw a ball away. So, yeah, it ended up that the runs he gave up, only 2 of them were earned. I didn't see anything concerning. I thought, just command was a little bit off. Next time out, Yankee defense has to be better, and I think if he pitches the same way, he'll do quite well.
And Michael, on to today. Marcus Stroman gets the ball for the Yankees, looking to pitch them to a sweep. He was the sixth starter, we remember, when spring began. Injuries changed all that in a big way. He's now starting the third game of the year. What are you expecting from Stroman?
Well, I'll tell you what, it does prove something. Never give up, don't burn bridges, and Marcus Stroman said all the right things. It looked like he was a sure thing to get traded when spring training began because he was the sixth pitcher. He didn't want to pitch out of the bullpen. He's been a starter his whole life. He went about his work, and then Cole went down, and Heel went down, and Schmidt started the season on the IL. So all of a sudden, as you mentioned, he's the third starter in the rotation. If you look at him last year, he had a great April and May, and I think that we could see more of that as well. Aaron Boone liked what he saw in spring training. He liked the command. He liked the movement of the pitches. And there's going to be a little pressure on the Brewers today to try to salvage the final game of the set. So I'm interested to see what Marcus Stroman comes up with today.
Me too. Thanks so much, Michael. We'll see you in a bit for the call of the game with Joe Girardi and Paul O'Neill. We'll see you soon. Let's take a quick timeout on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Still ahead, more on Game 3 of the season opening series as the Yankees go for the sweep. Stay with us. We are back, and what a start for the offense. 24 runs, the franchise's most through the first two games of a season. And those 9 home runs yesterday, they traveled 3,695 feet. We are counting. That is more than 2.5 Empire State Buildings. It is so good to have you back with us here on Yankees Batting Practice today, presented by Audi. And whether it's batting practice or their work in the cages inside, whatever the Yankees hitters have been doing so far has been working. Meredith Marakovitz caught up with hitting coach James Rowson to break it all down.
James, unbelievable day for the offense yesterday. What impressed you most about that performance?
You know what? Their ability to stay with it. You know, there's games you're going to get out to a lead and games, you know, go back and forth. But yesterday, the guys got off to a good start, but they never let up. They kept going the whole game, and it's a credit to what they did.
Not just a good start, an incredibly impressive start. First 3 guys in that lineup hitting home runs. As you're watching that go down, just explain what you're feeling, what you're thinking in the dugout as it's happening.
You know, it's funny because we talked about, like, stay aggressive, stay on the hunt. The guy stayed aggressive early. You don't expect, 3 home runs on 3 pitches. I've never seen that before, but it was pretty cool. But I really like before the game, where they were thinking, and then to go out in the game and execute the way they did was phenomenal.
Aaron Judge, I mean, we've seen it for years now, but almost 4 home runs yesterday. Did you think that one in the 6th was going?
I was hoping it was going. I thought it was too at first, but it didn't go. But again, what a day, right? So, second day of the season comes out, 3 homers. Showing you he's ready, showing you he's hungry. So I like the way our offense is going so far.
When he's leading like that with production like that, what does it do for the rest of this team?
I think everybody knows that it's a collective effort, right? So I think having a lineup full of guys like that, it helps the guys, but it also helps Judgy. Judgy realized he doesn't have to do it all. This is a guy who does a lot, obviously, year after year, but I think he would even tell you himself, it makes it easy when he doesn't have to do everything on his own, and we have a group of guys that do it together.
Paul Goldschmidt yesterday was a little unsure about being in that leadoff spot. He said, we'll see how it goes. Well, it went pretty well in that first at-bat. Just what has he brought to the table into this lineup?
What a professional hitter. Everything he does is professional. Goldie goes about his work. It's meticulous, everything he does. He comes out, he doesn't give away a bat, he doesn't give away a pitch. He is a really tough out up there. He's prepared all the time. The definition of professional is Paul Goldschmidt.
Now, a lot has been made about some of the newer style bats that these guys are using. What do you think of them?
I know they're talked about, honestly, because they probably look a little different, which draws to the eye. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, guys change models of bats every year. There's different models, different barrel shapes, different, these look a little different, but in my mind, I look at it as no different of like getting the right bat that suits you to go up there and have a good at bat. So yesterday we had a good day, so I hope each guy uses the same bat they used yesterday because it was a good day.
When you look at this, how do you think those could potentially help a hitter?
I think, so hitting is such a feel thing. So I do believe that, the feel is good. So if your bat fits you, it's better. I kind of think about it like a golfer. And you take golf clubs and guys get their clubs fitted to see which club works best for them and how they feel. It's the same thing with a bat. It's not just grabbing any random bat, but now we have the ability to get bats that are suited to you and fit you best. So I think guys taking advantage of that and doing that is key for the game.
James, if your golf game is anything like mine, it doesn't matter what clubs that I'm using, it's just not going to help.
I've been fitted many times, and it hasn't worked yet. So, again, that goes to say it's all about the player necessarily and not always the instrument.
Hey, when you look back to yesterday, too, 20 runs as well. When you have that many runs, there are a lot of contributors. How important was it to get so many guys involved in that, moving in the right direction?
Yeah, it's really big early on in the season to kind of get everyone going. Like I said, I think it was really big, too, that everybody knew we were moving together. It wasn't just one player. It was a collective group. And throughout the long season, we know we're going to need the whole group if we're going to go where we want to go.
We've got Savali pitching today as we almost get hit by a baseball here. What's the key against Savali?
At the end of the day, get a good pitch to hit, right? Like, so the mindset with Savali, he's a good pitcher. He knows how to work the zone, and we just got to make sure we get something that we can drive and force him into areas where we can do damage.
All right, James, I know you have work to do, and I don't want to get hit by a baseball, so I'm going to let you go.
All right. Talk to you later. Thanks, Meredith.
Send it back to you guys.
It was way back on Valentine's Day that Aaron Boone cautioned people not to get too far ahead when trying to figure out the Yankees' pitching plans, especially when it came to Marcus Stroman's role. Those things tend to work themselves out. Now, in Game 3 of the season, it's the season premiere of the Stroh Show. This is the Key to the Game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Stroman went 10-9 with a 4.31 ERA in his first season in pinstripes. He goes up against Aaron Savali, who was 8-9 in 2024. Splitting time with the Rays and the Brewers, he was much better with Milwaukee, but has struggled against the Yankees. Stroman started the home opener in the Boogie Down last season, then went on to appear in 30 games. He came out of the gate strong by doing what he does best, getting ground balls and limiting hard contact. And at the All-Star break, he was 7-4 with an ERA just over 3.5. 4 rougher starts in September soured his overall numbers, but still a solid season nonetheless. We'll see if he can tap back into that early 2024 form this afternoon. And Stroman has been good against the Brewers in his career, seeing them a bunch during his years with the Cubs. Stroman is 3-1 against Milwaukee with an ERA just over 3 while holding them to a 179 batting average. On the other side, Savali gets to make his season debut against a Yankees lineup that has a major league record 11 home runs through the first 2 games. And things did not go well for the righty when he faced the Bombers in the past, including the postseason. He's 1-5 with an ERA over 6 against them. He made 1 start against the Yankees last season and took a loss. So not only has facing the Yankees been difficult for Savali, so has starting games away from home. Last season, he had a 5.78 ERA and allowed opponents to post an OPS above 800 on the road. In 5 career starts at Yankee Stadium, his ERA climbs over 7. Okay, one last break here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. We will wrap things up with some final thoughts next. Keep it here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Home runs, that'll put a smile on the captain's face, but when that accounts for just 1/3 of his team's homers on an afternoon, that's history. 9 home runs for the Bronx Bombers on Saturday, a franchise record. What did they do for a curtain call? We find out as the New York Yankees host the Milwaukee Brewers on a Sunday at the stadium. Certainly hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz, John Flaherty, Jack Curry with you. Final game of this 3-game series. A chance for a sweep, a chance for, I don't know, 9 more home runs? What do you think? Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
You know what, Bob? When you win the first 2 games of this series against the Brewers and you score 20 runs yesterday on 16 hits, and 9 of those hits are home runs, it's a record-setting afternoon for the Yankees. You just want to keep the line moving this afternoon. Try to go for the sweep against the Brewers. You have an off day coming up tomorrow. It would be an amazing way to start off the year, not only scoring 20 runs yesterday, but getting 3 games early on this year, Jack. You feel like you're stealing victories if you can get that sweep today.
Right, you want to get some traction under yourself. And when you look at yesterday and think of the 9 home runs, think of the 20 runs, and you say, as Bob did, what do you do for a curtain call? What do you do for an encore? Here's what you do. You continue to look at the Brewers and every other team, and if you're the Yankees, you say, I'm going to hit you with my best shot. That means quality at bat after quality at bat. We saw an aggressive approach from the Yankees yesterday. I expect that to continue. It was the first time they've ever hit 9 9 home runs in franchise history. Doesn't mean it'll happen again for the rest of the season. But quality at-bats, at-bat after at-bat, that should and can happen.
Certainly give it a try today. Let's get it out to the stadium. Meredith Morakovitz standing by with the Clubhouse Report, brought to you by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, again, an epic offensive day yesterday. And again, like Jack and Flash said, just trying to put together good at-bats again today and get a win.
Bob, what a fun day at the ballpark it was for the Yankees offense yesterday. When I spoke to Cody Bellinger in the clubhouse after the game, I asked him about that first inning in particular, first 3 batters going back to back to back, and he just smiled and said, I had never been a part of anything like that before. And when so many guys are contributing up and down the order, it is just fun to get back in that batter's box. Now, for the season, it'll be about consistency. They'll try to follow it up today, but that's certainly a large task to do so. But here's a look at the numbers from yesterday. First time in Major League Baseball history with home run on the first 3 pitches of the game. It's the first time the Yankees went back to back to back to start a game. 9 home runs total, as you guys had mentioned, not to mention the home runs in the first 2 games. 11 for the Yankees so far, and that is without Giancarlo Stanton in that lineup. Now, I had the opportunity to catch up with hitting coach James Rowson to ask him about that high-powered offense and what impressed him most yesterday.
You know what? Their ability to stay with it. You know, there's games you're going to get out to a lead and games, you know, go back and forth. But yesterday, the guys got off to a good start, but they never let up. They kept going the whole game, and it's a credit to what they did.
Not just a good start, an incredibly impressive start. First 3 guys in that lineup hitting home runs. As you're watching that go down, just explain what you're feeling, what you're thinking in the dugout as it's happening.
You know, it's funny because we talked about, like, stay aggressive, stay in the hunt. The guy stayed aggressive early. You don't expect, 3 home runs on 3 pitches. I've never seen that before, but it was pretty cool. But I really like before the game, where they were thinking, and then to go out in the game and execute the way they did was phenomenal.
How do you go about, as an offense, trying to follow up that type of performance from yesterday?
Look, obviously yesterday was crazy and historical in a lot of ways. So it's just one of those days. Ultimately, just want to continue to have guys with a real consistent approach and continue to have that team focus and of grinding out tough at bats. You're going to have days where you get shut down by a great pitcher, and we just always want to be day in and day out making sure we're taking tough bats, smart at bats. And executing game plans as best as we can.
And guys, one of the funniest things about yesterday and that lineup, Aaron Boone said before the game that he and Brad Ausmus were going back and forth almost the entire off day, deciding how they wanted to situate that lineup. He just couldn't make a final decision. He finally went with Paul Goldschmidt in the leadoff spot, and we know how that turned out for him, hitting his first home run as a Yankee and the first of 9 home runs on the day for the team. As far as the lineup today is concerned, he remains in that leadoff spot, even though there's a right-handed pitcher in Aaron Savali on the mound. When I spoke to Aaron Boone about that, he said they see Savali as more of a reverse split guy, so they decided to keep it as is, and obviously a lot of success yesterday, so why fix it if it is not broken? Now, there was a lot made yesterday during our broadcast. Michael Kay brought up the fact that the Yankees were using some different bats. We saw them during spring training. A handful of guys are using these bats where you can tell the wood is a little bit more towards the label there. Just a couple guys using them. Guys had the options to try them during spring training. Jazz Chisholm Jr., one of the guys that was using it. They are completely legal, but I did ask Aaron Boone about those bats and what he thinks of them.
It's just, trying to be the best we can be. I mean, it's one of the things that's, gotten pointed out, but, I say to you guys all the time, we're trying to win on the margins and trying to get, and that shows up in so many different ways, whether you see, bat models, we saw the momentum steals that Volpe does. You see shifts. Like when I say those kind of things, like we have a big organization that are invested in a lot of different things where we're trying to be better in every possible way. The reality is it's all within major league standards, and it's 2025, so it's different, and we can account for things a lot better. But, I look at it when I played, I probably used 6, 7, 8 different model bats throughout my career. within a season, I used a different shape bat for a lefty, a different one for a righty. You know, those things aren't new. They're just more people pouring into trying to optimize guys as best we can. You know, not much different than if any of you play golf. You know, like back in the day, you had your set of clubs and you went out and played. Now, you know, you get in a simulator and you're hitting and trying to optimize as best you can. We're able to do that a little bit better now. So, you know, some of the guys have changed some things. Some of the guys are like, no, I don't like this. We try and make everything available as much as we can, but it's really just organizationally pouring into ways we can be a little bit better.
And it really was a topic of conversation in the clubhouse this morning. A lot of reporters going up to players and asking them about these bats. Everyone approached Aaron Judge, and he kind of looked around and said something from yesterday, and he said, no, it's about the newer bats that some guys are using. Have you ever considered using one of them? He said, nope, not at all. I like my numbers the last couple of years. It's not even a consideration for him. Really, as you heard James Rowson say in the BP show, it's all about feel, and if that gives you the good feel, that's what you go with. Now, as far as the injuries are concerned, it brings us to the Morgan & Morgan injury report. Ian Hamilton, as we told you yesterday, was making his first rehab appearance. I caught up with Hamilton in the clubhouse today. He said everything went well in Scranton. He's expected to throw again on Wednesday. He's not sure thereafter. I also followed up with Giancarlo Stanton. He said not only has he been hitting in the cage, but hitting off the traject machine. He hopes that kind of expedites him getting back a little bit. He said that has been helping a lot. He's been feeling good, but still no timetable on that one. And Clark Schmidt is supposed to throw again next week, so we will keep an eye on that. But guys, it looks like they could be getting some players back soon. And one more thing before I throw it back to you, Bob. It was so lovely here in the Bronx yesterday. It felt like a June afternoon, not a March afternoon. Today, I think it dropped about 30 degrees. It is freezing here in the Bronx.
Well, I'm still going to tell you, enjoy it. Have a great day. We'll see you during the game in just a bit with Michael, Paul, and Joe. Guys, want to ask you real quick about the bats. Again, within legal specifications, what you have a regular bat. What should we note about these new bats they're using?
You know what, Bob? Pretty simply put here, if you're looking at this bat, the sweet spot of this bat where you really want to hit the baseball would probably be about a 4-inch space here. This obviously is the end of the bat, and this is where you get jammed on the label. What Michael Kay was talking about yesterday is some of the Yankee hitters are using bats where the weight, the sweet spot of the bat is more towards the label. There's really nothing different here when I heard about it yesterday. When I came into pro ball, there was pretty much a couple of models that you could use. A C271, the weight was evenly distributed. A P72 was more top heavy. So I thought the whole conversation yesterday, Jack, was just bringing maybe the weight or the sweet spot back towards the label where some of the Yankee hitters were making more contact.
Yeah, as Aaron Boone just said, it's about looking for those advantages on the edges. You just detailed how the Yankees are doing that. You want to have the hardest part of the bat be the part where the contact is going to occur. And a quick history lesson, and Flash, you know this better than anyone. Bat modifications are nothing new. In 1997, Joe Carter walked up to the plate with a maple bat. No one had ever used a maple bat in a major league game before. In '98, those maple bats were sanctioned. Within a decade, more than half of major league players were using maple bats. We've seen bats that were cupped. Previously, they were not cupped. Thinner handles, thicker barrels. So the Yankees are playing within the rules and doing something very smart for their players who want to use it.
Yeah, and I think the Yankees are doing a great job because it's individualized, right? Like Anthony Volpe, maybe you've gotten jammed more in the past, hit the ball maybe more towards the label. The front office, the analytics can show the numbers to Anthony Volpe and say, you might benefit from moving some of the weight to the middle of the bat. Obviously, the way he's swinging so far, a pretty nice adjustment.
Yeah, it could equate to maybe, what, 10 extra hits, 10 extra RBI in a season? Who knows?
The way it was described by a couple people, including Kevin Smith, who was in the Yankee organization in 2024, is that pitch that maybe you fouled off, maybe that becomes a flare. Maybe the flare becomes a line drive. Maybe that softer ball to left field, maybe it goes over an outfielder's head. So for anyone who wants to go to their baseball rule book, and if you don't have one, you should really get one. It's Rule 3.02. A baseball bat cannot be longer than 42 inches, and the diameter that Flash was just pointing out can't be wider than 2.61 inches. Obviously, the Yankees know all that, and they're going up there with bats that are legal to use in a game.
We hear in today's game, exit velo is the name of the game, right? You hit the ball harder, you get some ground balls that are base hits. You were just talking about that. If you move the sweet spot to an area where a hitter hits the ball off of the bat more often, you're going to get more exit velo. It might turn into more hits, might turn into more power.
We'll see if that plays out today all season long. And yes, want to remind you, your viewers not only grab a hot dog at the stadium, but also show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. It was the third three-homer game of his career. Only Lou Gehrig has more in Yankees history. Coming up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we break it down. The latest Judgian feat. Keep it here on Yes in the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. All FanDuel customers can win a share of $500,000 in bonus bets if your player hits a home run this opening weekend. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. The Yankees brought the bats out yesterday, and now they'll try to bring out the brooms with a season-opening sweep with the Brew Crew. For a same-game parlay, let's go with more offensive flair. Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Aaron Judge for 2+ total bases apiece, and Anthony Volpe to drive in a run. That parlay would hit at plus 987. All FanDuel customers can win a share of $500,000 in bonus bets if your player hits a home run this opening weekend.
Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup today going up against Aaron Savali. It's brought to you by Toyota. As Meredith mentioned, pretty much the same. Certainly off the top, the first six. Jason Dominguez is in left field today with Ben Rice DHing, and then Oswaldo Cabrera is at third base. And bottom line, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they lead with the top six, basically the same. And again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't do anything with Aaron Judge. He's off to a great start with those 3 home runs yesterday.
3 home runs in his first 10 plate appearances this season. It was 3 home runs in his first 72 plate appearances last season. And I go back to what Judge said on the field with Meredith, guys. He just talked about his timing. And that was something that he said was off last season. I also think we saw an aggressive approach from Judge. If he saw something early in the count, he was going to pounce on it. He was able to take advantage of those pitches and Flash just have the kind of day that only Aaron Judge can have.
You know what, Jackie, you say took advantage of those pitches. All those pitches were inside, and he was driving them to left field. This was the best swing of the day, in my opinion, staying inside and driving the ball to right field. You know that Savali, the pitcher for the Brewers today, is going to make an adjustment. He's going to stay away from middle in against Aaron Judge, try to have everything breaking away. We'll see if he can take that last swing, driving the ball to right field into today's game. That would really show us he's hot.
Got to kind of keep an eye on those at-bats, right? Because as you pointed out, first 2 games, very lefty-intensive coming at the Yankees. That's what Pat Murphy and the Brewers have done. Now you're going to get Savali trying to spin that ball away and see if Judge has that plate discipline.
Yeah, and you think back to spring training with Aaron Judge. He was pulling off the ball a little bit. So yesterday's matchup for him with Nestor Cortez, trying to ride the ball inside, trying to cut it inside, played to where Aaron Judge's strengths are at this particular time. We know when Aaron Judge is right, he can cover the whole plate. He's probably going to be challenged away today. We'll see if he can make that adjustment.
Aaron Savali got to find a way to neutralize these bats because he's coming off a season that wasn't so great, and he's got to find a way to get just keep some zeros on the board.
And he's had poor numbers against the Yankees in his career. The earned run average is over 6. But I wanted to focus on 2 of the guys he's going to have to face, and that's Volpe and Wells. If you go back to our winter meetings coverage, Tim Naring, who is one of Brian Cashman's top lieutenants, he said as I look towards the 2025 season, he pointed out Wells, he pointed out Volpe, he even brought up Jason Dominguez. He said All of these players should be upgrades offensively. We know it's only 2 games, but we've seen that from Volpe and Wells. We talked about Volpe with the torpedo bat and what it's done for him, but also Wells just seems so comfortable now, and Boone wants him to play 130 games. So you're going to see a lot of Wells, and the Yankees are happy with what they've seen.
I love that number, 130, and I love the word that you just used for Austin Wells, more comfortable. You go through your rookie year, it is so overwhelming with all of the things you have to deal with on the field and off the field, and then you talk about being a catcher, dealing with the pitching staff and trying to swing the bat. I think Austin Wells came into spring training saying, I'm the man. He's got that inner confidence, and to get off to a great start the first couple of games, you just start dreaming on what a left-handed hitting catcher in Yankee Stadium and some of the numbers he might be able to produce.
He is going to be working today with Marcus Stroman, getting the 3rd start of the season, and coming up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we'll tell you what to expect as he tries to finish off the sweep. Stick around.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Great to have you back on the pregame as we turn our attention now to the Yankees and their starter Marcus Stroman. And Jack, offseason, question was, would he throw pitches for the Yankees today? He's making the 3rd start of the year.
Right, he came into spring training with the attitude of, I'm a starter. This is all going to work out. And because the Yankees had a couple of injuries, it did work out for Stroman. He ends up being their number 3 starter. Well, he's in the 3rd game of the season. But I look back to what he did last season, guys, and in his first 14 starts for the Yankees, the ERA was under 3. The batting average was .223. The slugging percentage was under .400. The Yankees need him to replicate that, and he has the ability to do that. Here's what has to happen for him. Soft contact, a lot of ground balls, and getting batters to hit his pitches. Stroman wants to throw pitches that are just outside of the zone. He wants to get batters to chase. We'll see how effective he is today.
Yeah, if you watch Austin Wells behind the plate today, he's going to be setting up off the plate to both sides, because Marcus Stroman does not want to throw the ball over the plate. He wants to pitch the edges and off. But I'm worried, not worried, I'm going to be concerned watching him today about his attitude. If we rewind last year, he pitched the home opener for the New York Yankees, and he wanted the ball in that start, and he was playing up to the crowd in front of the Yankee fans. Well, he gets a chance today for his first start of the year in front of those Yankee fans. You know there's going to be some adrenaline. You know there's going to be some energy. Is there any bad blood about maybe the rumors that he was going to be traded out of here? I don't think so. Marcus Stroman is such a pro that he knew going into spring training, I'm a starting pitcher. This is going to work out one way or another. Well, it worked out for him. He's pitching game 3.
Let's take a look at the lineup that he'll face today. Milwaukee's lineup brought to you by Toyota. Bryce Terang going up to the top spot in the lineup. Jackson Chourio down to 2nd. Christian Yelich against Marcus Stroman, just 1 for 7 in his career. That one hit was a home run. Former Yankee Jake Bauers in there at first base today. One last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. We're going to wrap things up with some keys to the game. That's the kind of sacks we like, not the sad rain sacks. Just that sacks as we go to break.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today.
Happy game day. I'm meteorologist Alex Calamia here with News 12, and we are looking at a much more gloomy Yankee forecast today. Temperatures are in the 50s, and that's it. We have a light wind coming in from the east. It's going to keep things cloudy and gloomy. Just a sprinkle at the most. No major chance for rain. A refreshing feel, to say the least, for the fans at the game, heading home, as well as the players. It looks pretty comfortable, though. We do hyperlocal news and weather here very well at News 12, online, on air, and streaming.
Alex, thank you. Refreshing weather. How about a refreshing key to the game? What do you have for us?
My key to the game is all about Aaron Savali, Bob, and you mentioned he didn't have a great year last year, but he was better when he was traded over from Tampa to Milwaukee because his cut fastball was much better in Milwaukee. A 160 batting average against on that pitch. Yankees are going to have to deal with that today if they're going to have some success.
I'm going to go to the Yankees pitching side for my key, and I'm going to say the pen is mighty. There's an off day tomorrow. Boone did not use any of his high leverage relievers yesterday. I would say that if the Yankees are in position, they'll go for at least 12 outs from their pen today.
Lock it in. The Stroh Show is coming up next with Michael, Paul, Joe, and Meredith. They've got the call. We'll see you on the post game. Have a great day with us here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
See ya! There's a leadoff hitter, 1-0 Yanks. See ya! Back to back! Back to back to back! 3-0 Yankees! Oh, they've done it again! 4 first-inning home runs! Track, wall, see ya! See ya! A grand slam for Aaron Judge! A home run for Chisholm! The 7th home run for the Yankees! See ya! 3 home runs for Aaron Judge! There it goes! See ya! The Yankees' 9th home run of the day! They did it again! Well, temperatures in the 70s yesterday, but today, you know what? It feels like March 30th is supposed to feel. It's chilly, it's cold, but we've got baseball right here on Yes. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Hyundai Sunday game of the week. It's Milwaukee against the defending American League champion New York Yankees in the final game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium of the Bronx. Opening week presented by PNC Bank. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Joe Girardi and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. All Yankees yesterday. Yankees started this organization in 1903. They had never had a game where they had 9 home runs until yesterday. 9 home runs in one game. 3 of those home runs by the captain.
Well, if you're going to have a home run party, Aaron Judge is definitely going to be part of it. Believe me, folks, don't take this for granted. You're watching one of the better hitters that ever played the game in the first inning, his first of the year. And then later, why not just throw in a grand slam and then throw another one up? I didn't know if he got it, but he got plenty of it. Had an opportunity to go deep later, off the wall, 8 RBIs on the day. What a day for Aaron Judge.
What a day for the Yankees. Home run in the first 3 pitches of the game. First time in big league history. The 9 home runs franchise record tied for the second most in big league history. And Judge, his 3rd career 3 home run game, tied for the second most in Yankees history. The Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, is first with 4 such games. So the Yankees have taken the first 2 of the season opening series against Milwaukee. They go for the sweep today. And on the mound for the Yankees will be Marcus Stroman.
Well, when Marcus Stroman came to spring training, he wasn't sure what his role was going to be. And he said, I'm a starter. Well, we know he loves to pitch in front of the home crowd. And he's got 7 different pitches. He's got the sinker. He's got the change split. He's always been a great fielder, a Gold Glove pitcher. And he's got that cutter he will use effectively into lefties. So this is a guy that needs to step up and has been really good.
He stepped up early last year, 6-2, 2.82 in the first 14 games. The last 16 starts, 4-7, 5.88. The Yankees want that first part of the season out of Marcus Stroman today. We talked about the home run derby yesterday. It started off on the first pitch. Paul Goldschmidt, leading off for the first time, hits a home run. Well, Meredith Marakovitz speaks with him when we get back right here on Yes.
For the Yankees will try to continue their winning ways against the Brewers. Final game of the 3-game series is coming your way right here on Yes in just a little bit. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. Paul Goldschmidt hit his first home run as a Yankee yesterday, just one of the 9 that they managed in the game, the 20-9 win over the Brewers. Today, he remains in the leadoff spot, and earlier this spring, he spoke about what it means to him to be wearing pinstripes.
Yeah, I think even just putting on the Yankees uniform is a huge honor. There's been so many great players and great teams, and to get this opportunity is great. So I think the goal is obviously to show up and play hard and prepare and try to win and just carry on this tradition. I feel like there's such high expectations with this organization. That's really exciting. It's what I wanted. It's what the guys in the clubhouse want, whether it's first baseman, like you mentioned, or just this team and organization in general. We want to do it at the highest level and live up to the expectations that were set before us.
I just caught up with hitting coach James Rowson and asked him about Paul Goldschmidt. The first thing he said, he is a complete professional hitter. Certainly a solid addition to this Yankees lineup. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by Joe Girardi and Paul O'Neill. First pitch coming your way after the break.
The field, Marcus Stroman is taking his warm-ups, and we'll take a look at the Brewers' starting lineup. Bryce Terang at second base leads off. Jackson Churio on left. Christian Yelich the DH. Cleaning up the catcher, William Contreras. Sal Frelick in right. Jake Bauers at first. Garrett Mitchell in center field. He's going to bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Joey Ortiz. And the third baseman for Milwaukee is Oliver Dunn. He'll bat ninth. And on the mound for the Yankees, Marcus Stroman, 30 games last year. 29 starts, 10-9 with a 4.31 ERA. Let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report.
Well, first half and second half, the last 2 years have been extremely different. Last year, a 3.51 in the first, a 5.98 ERA in the second half. He's going to need to speed it up. Marcus has a tendency to be a little slow to home, 25 for 30 in stolen bases, but he's done a good job against the Brewers. They've only stolen 2 bases in 8 starts. And this has been a real good draw. He's pitched really well against the Brewers. He's 3-1 with a 3.10 in 8 starts, 2.86 in the last 3 years.
Terang is ready. Stroman's ready. Let's do it in the Bronx. And the first pitch is a strike. We're underway. Terang 2 for 8 so far in this series. See what he did last year. Played in 155 games. Pitch inside.
Paul, talk about some of the challenges playing days like today.
You know, the biggest challenge is to not hit one off the end of the bat, your first at bat, because it can wring your hands for basically the rest of the game. But, you know, I always felt like, you know, you come from the dugout, there's heaters there, you know, you're fine as far as feeling like you can hit. It's just if you get jammed or hit one off the end of the bat, you know it.
The 1-2. And there's a base hit to left field off the bat of Terang. All right, the guys are talking about the weather. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's 44 degrees, feels like 50. That's nonsense. It doesn't feel like 50. 40% chance of rain, 83% humidity. The wind is blowing in from left field.
You dropped the nonsense on them.
Really? It feels like 44.
Paul's got gloves on.
I got everything I own here.
Here's Jackson Churio.
Yeah, here's where the challenge starts for Marcus, because Terang was 50 for 56 in stolen bases last year. Loves to run. You got a very good hitter in Jackson Churio at the plate, and you got to make sure you don't put too much focus on the base runner.
Well, that's rare so far in the series. Churio had been up 11 times, swung at the first pitch 7 times. He does take that one for a strike.
Do you know what I like there? The little slide step. I mean, that will shut down a running game if you can do that and not lose any of your stuff.
0-2.
2 great pitches. A cutter on the outside corner and then a sinker coming back at the same location. And obviously, Marcus Stroman would love strikeouts, but he'd love a good ground ball here, too.
To someone. That's important you say that.
1-2. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense. Dominguez, Bellinger, and Judge left and right in the outfield. In the infield, Oswaldo Cabrera gets started third. Volpe's at short. Chisholm at second. Goldschmidt again at first. Wells behind the plate. Rice is the DH. And on the mound, that man, Marcus Stroman. Just got a piece. Stroman is a testament to the old saying, don't burn bridges. Because it looked going into spring training that he was going to be traded. He was the 6th starter, and the first 5 starters were entrenched. And he said, I'm not a reliever, I'm a starter. And it looked like they would trade him. But then Cole went down, and Heel went down, and Schmidt has started the season on the IL. Here, Marcus Stroman's now the third starter in the Yankee rotation. So you just persevere, you do your job, and things happen.
Yeah, I remember Joe Torre would always say, things have a way of working out. Just go do your job. There might be a few too many starters here right now, but things have a way of working out. And here he is starting game number 3.
2-2. Just missed.
He's been picking that outside corner. Got a couple calls, but that one just off the outside corner.
But by going to 3-2, you got to believe Turang will be in motion, and it probably takes the double play away unless you line into one.
Runner goes. High fly ball, deep center. Going back, Bellinger. Still back on the track. He makes the play over his shoulder. Hustling back to first is Turang. Bellinger covering a lot of ground here in the Bronx.
Well, Cody Bellinger, I mean, we talk about his athleticism, and you know, he's playing fairly shallow here. But again, it is a cold day. This ball's probably in the bullpen yesterday when the wind was blowing and it was carrying, but a nice, solid play from Cody Bellinger.
And Marcus giving him some love out in center field. He saw him do that in Chicago for him plenty of times. I think it's really important, though, for Marcus. Like, he got ahead there 0-2 and ends up being a 3-2 count.
Yeah.
Try to put him away a little bit quicker so they don't see everything.
Bellinger lost one to right field. Toward the line is Judge. That'll make the play in fair territory for out number 2. Time for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, we're following history. Team record 9 home runs yesterday and 20 runs. So let's see how they can follow up with that and moved up the ladder. We've kind of touched on the booth up here. Marcus Stroman now making game 3 start, not even knowing if he was going to be part of this team and coming out of spring training. And clean it up. I mean, you can look at it 2 ways here. You can clean it up with the broom and sweep this series, but you definitely have to clean up the defense. 5 errors yesterday, the most in a game for the Yankees since 2018.
And so far in the first, 2 pretty good defensive plays, one by Bellinger, and a Judge going to the line there. Hall's in it as well. 0-1 count on William Contreras.
Aren't too many games where you make 5 errors and win by 11 runs.
No. You know, offense can cover up a few things, but you know, if you're in the manager's office, Joe, and I'm sure you did it many times, you sit there and you say, you know what, we're not going to score 20 runs every day. You know, you have to play solid baseball day in and day out to win.
Home plate umpire is Ryan Blakeney. Let's take a look that he is hitter friendly. Fewer inside strikes, fewer high strikes on right-handed batters, and Ryan in his 11th big league season. Junior Valentine, the first base ump. Marvin Hudson, the crew chief at second. Trip Gibson is over at third.
Michael, it's hard to write with gloves on. You know that? I got these big, thick gloves on. I can't even read my own writing.
Can't even pick up the pen.
No. But you know what? It's either write well or freeze. And I'll write bad. How's that?
Swing and a miss. Runner goes. Throw to second. And it gets by Chisholm, but backing up is Bellinger. Stolen base for Turang.
Well, Joe touched on it. 50 stolen bases from Turang last year. A good jump there. Austin Wells kind of short-top Chisholm, but it didn't look like he had a chance to get him.
Yeah, Jazz tried to hang in there as long as he can and put down a quick tag, but he got that base on Marcus.
2-2 on Contreras. 3-2.
Tell you what, if I'm Pat Murphy too, I'm holding my breath because Bryce Turang missed the last 4 games of spring training in the field because he hurt his shoulder. Oh, and sliding head first there. Oh,
there's the payoff. Just missed the outside corner. Contreras walks.
And if you look at Marcus Stroman, Joe, and he is a contact pitcher. He's not going to strike out a lot of guys. He's been ahead in 2 counts so far, and then starting to look for the strikeout instead of, you know, a good sinker, ground ball, get out of the inning.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when he gets ahead, he goes for the strikeout. And it's something that Max Fried talked about, that he had to get away from that because it really drove up his pitch count. The other thing is, the more a hitter sees you, the better chance they have of getting a hit. I mean, it's like the second time through the third lineup. Well, if you're seeing 7 pitches every at bat, that's a problem.
And also the way baseball is played now, you build up your pitch count in the first inning, you're going to be out by the fourth. There's just a certain amount of pitches they're going to give a pitcher to throw. And there's a strike to Frelick.
Yeah, first pitch strikes, he's 5 for 5. And he's had 2 3-2 counts, a walk.
Hit sharply and through for a base hit. Judge charges. Here comes Terang. Here's the throw. It'll be cut off by Goldschmidt. It's an RBI single for Frelick. Then Milwaukee has a run.
Well, Frelick, another one of the guys, young players that this organization is going to build around. And a big hit right here. He goes with the cut fastball instead of the sinker. And you see that kind of just flatten out. And a cut fastball to a lefty has to end up on the hands, not out over the plate. He was able to find a hole on the right side. Milwaukee, all of a sudden, you get beat up yesterday, but turn the page and you're up 1-0 here in the first.
And a dangerous hitter at the plate that has a lot of power. You look at what he did last year. I mean, that's not in a lot of at-bats. It's only 300 at-bats. 12 homers and 40-plus RBIs.
Bowers takes a strike, so 6 batters, 6 first pitch strikes from Stroman. Well, one of the biggest things that Bowers did yesterday was he kept Aaron Judge out of the history books. He actually pitched the bottom of the 8th inning for Milwaukee in a blowout game, and he got Judge to line out to fairly deep left field, but he kept them in the park.
He threw him a first pitch curveball.
A breaking ball.
Swing and a miss. Bowers down on strikes. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 men left. Milwaukee won. The Yankees coming to bat.
Batting third and playing right field, Aaron Judge. Batting fourth and playing second base, Jazz Chisholm. Batting fifth and playing shortstop, Anthony Volpe. Batting sixth and playing catcher, Austin Wells. Batting seventh and playing left field, Jason Dominguez. Batting eighth, designated hitter, Ben Rice. Batting ninth and playing third base, Oswaldo Cabrera. The starting pitcher, Marcus Stroman. Let's go Yankees!
Great job, kids. The team is the Livingston Knights 12-under team, and they are at the Ripken Experience Aberdeen Opening Day Tournament, and they're wearing their new uniforms, and they did a great job giving the lineup, which has Paul Goldschmidt leading off, and they'll be facing Aaron Savali. Last year with Tampa Bay and Milwaukee, 31 starts, 8-9 record, 4.36. Now let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report.
Well, the change of scenery was good for Aaron Savali. A 5.07 ERA, 17 starts with Tampa, but came over to Milwaukee in early July, 3.53. His cutter, it's a cut above. It really took off when he went to Milwaukee. Hitters hit only 160, only a 310 slug. And then this is somewhat of a bad draw for him. I mean, 6.32, including the postseason against the Yankees, his ERA in 7 starts. Last year, he went 4 2/3 innings. He gave up 5 runs in April.
2-0 on Goldschmidt. Second game in his career leading off. He saw 1 pitch yesterday and put it in the seats. 22 home runs last year in what was considered a down year for him. 2-1.
Remember the big start he had against the Yankees in the playoffs, the winner-take-all. He started instead of Bieber for the Guardians. Ended up, I think Stanton hit a 3-run homer off him in the first inning.
That's what Stanton does in the playoffs.
Yeah, basically.
Goldschmidt likes hitting against Milwaukee. 138 games, including the playoffs. 297, 32 home runs, and 96 runs batted in. Now, you might wonder, why is Goldschmidt a right-handed batter leading off against Savali, a right-handed pitcher? They call it reverse split. So Savali is more effective against lefties than righties. So Aaron Boone said, well, let's have Goldschmidt for the second day in a row.
Well, if you look back, I mean, if you're a cutter, I'm a good cutter, a pitcher, I mean, you're going to give lefties a little more problem than they are righties.
Base hit. Goldschmidt leads off with a single.
I think it also helps if you're 4 for 6 now with a single, 2 doubles, and a homer. That'll get you a lot of at-bats against the starter.
He tries to run this ball to the outside corner, and it ends up in the middle of the plate. Goldschmidt, I think, yesterday by hitting that home run, getting that monkey off his back as far as getting your first hit out of the way. Looks really good at the plate now.
Yeah, and I think with the slow start he had last year, you don't want it to get in your head that, here we go again.
Bellinger takes upstairs. Bellinger, with his first Yankee home run yesterday, traveled 451 feet. 4 for 7 in the first 2 games against Milwaukee.
You think about how much the first 2 hitters in the Yankees lineup have seen these Milwaukee pitchers, because they're both, one's with the Cubs and Goldie was with the Cardinals. So there's a lot of recognition there for these types of pitchers against them.
3-0. So Cody has 1 home run with the Yanks. His dad hit 12 home runs in his time with the Yankees, and those are the only 12 in his big league career. He also won 2 World Series with the Yankees. 3-0. 3-1.
There's that cutter that he's going to throw in, but he also likes to backdoor to lefties, and he'll throw a couple different breaking balls, a curveball that's more of a 12-6, and then he's got that sweeper that it's kind of going to get in on lefties too, try to back foot it.
Deep to right, but foul. The Brewers line up this way defensively: Churio, Mitchell, and Frelick in the outfield left to right. Then Dunn, Ortiz, Turang, and Bowers third to first. Contreras behind the plate. Yelich the DH. Savali on the mound.
So do you have an over and under, Michael, on the day that Cody will hit his 13th home run and break his dad's record versus the Yankees?
I haven't figured that out yet.
Give it some thought.
But the 451-foot home run yesterday, the longest of his career distance-wise.
We're way behind schedule, though. We went 12 pitches into the game, 4 pitches into the game yesterday with 4-0, wasn't it?
(3-2). Center field. Wynn takes it in. Mitchell coming in to make the play. He took a step back first and then had to run in to make the play.
Well, with what they saw yesterday with 9 home runs, I think I'd take a step back too.
Yeah, most of the outfielders. It is night and day the way the ball is going to carry from yesterday to today, though. Cold weather, everybody knows the ball does not carry well. Yesterday, kind of windy, balmy, warm for this time of year. Obviously, the ball was flying.
Well, first pitch temperature yesterday was 78 degrees. Today it's 44. Lights are on here at the stadium. It's overcast. The sun's simply a rumor. Yesterday, the sun was bathing the field most of the game. The 0-1. 1-1 on Judge. Judge's first home run yesterday was 468 feet. That's the 7th longest of his career. And he is really taken to the Milwaukee Brewers. In 14 games in his career, he has 8 home runs and 19 ribbies, hitting .400. So 9 ribbies this season, tied for most of the 2 games in Major League history with 2 others. I know you like this, Paul. The 9 home runs for the Yankees. Traveled 3,695 feet yesterday. That is essentially 2.5 Empire State Buildings.
Creeping up on a mile. That's a lot of homers.
0.7 miles, you're right.
When's the last time you ran 0.7 miles?
Well, it hadn't been recently, believe me.
Goldschmidt can run. 3-2 count on Aaron Judge. 1 man out. Goldschmidt stays put. Driven deep to left field. He's done it again. See ya. A monster 2-run home run. Can't keep him in the park. 2-1 Yanks.
A little shovel work there, huh? You know what? I said in the pregame, you just cannot take this for granted. What you are watching, if you're a Yankee fan tuning in or coming to the ballpark, you're seeing one of the better hitters to ever step foot in the Bronx. This guy is absolutely amazing.
And for some reason, I don't think the weather's going to bother him.
No, that's one guy that the temperature doesn't. It's not going to keep the ball in the ballpark.
No.
I was very surprised. Savali had one good curveball in that count, and he never went back to it. And this with a fastball out over the plate. Souvenir.
Yankees have 6 first-inning home runs. Rest of Major League Baseball, 5 in the first inning. That means 29 other teams have combined for 5.
That is so big, too, for your starting pitchers. To get them a lead where they can relax, where they don't think one run is going to beat them. I would think, too, when you're a guy like Aaron Savali and you have 7 different pitches on a cold day, it's got to be tough to find him. So if I find a couple that are working, I'm sticking with them.
Right.
Marcus is going to have to deal with that too as well.
You know, you brought up a good point, Paul. I think sometimes we get desensitized because we watch him every day. And then he does stuff like this. He really is one of the greatest right-handed hitters who's ever lived. And that's not hyperbole. The numbers prove it out.
It's really not. I mean, if you see the stats and if you see the, the comparisons that we show every single day, you start hearing Babe Ruth and Joe DiMaggio, and it just, I mean, the sound, it's just a different sound.
You know, we talked about the bats yesterday, and we'll get into it more a little bit later on, but Aaron Judge, you know, he was offered that opportunity. He said, no, I'm good. He's staying with the same bat.
I think he probably made a good decision, you know. Can't fix something that's not broken.
The ball jumps pretty well off that one, huh?
3-2. Swing and a miss. 2 away. So here's Judge. 4 home runs through 3 games. That's the first Yankee to ever do that, to have 4 home runs through the first 3 games.
Again, even, if you're putting the uniform on every day, as Dominguez right there, it's just like he's at a different level, day in and day out. And just throw a little dirt over your back and move on.
Of all the great home run hitters in Yankee history, that's kind of stunning. There's Anthony Volpe.
Interesting stat about Anthony Volpe. He's got 2 home runs already this year, but the increased bat speed that he's had since last year, where it was, like 69.3, and this year it's been over 72, and you're seeing it. I mean, he's hitting the ball with authority. He's hit the ball out the other way. And when you have a hitter that can take the ball out the other way, from a catcher standpoint, it's a nightmare to call pitches because you don't know where to go.
Yeah, Yankee Stadium, I think it's actually a bigger advantage for the right-handed hitters, being able to go the other way where you don't have to worry about pulling the baseball.
And that's because you were a left-handed hitter that didn't necessarily pull.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted the ball away. I wanted to drive the ball the other way.
Driven out to right field. Frelick back. He's on the track. He'll make the play in front of the wall for the final out. But another first inning, another Aaron Judge home run. Not a cheapie. Sends it into orbit. And when it lands, the Yankees have a 2-1 lead. Parlay. Now we go to the top of the second, bottom third of the order for Milwaukee against Stroman. Mitchell leads off, and there's a strike.
Be great to see Marcus have a quick inning here, get ahead and put him away quick. Aaron Savali threw 31 pitches yesterday, and they've had to use their bullpen a lot in the last 2 days. Getting back out there puts some more stress on him.
0-2.
Didn't only use their bullpen, they used an everyday player. Huh? Finished the game yesterday.
Well, he actually didn't give up a run, did he?
No.
Might want to go back to him.
One and two. Joey Ortiz on deck.
Marcus is talking about how he kind of got under that one, you know, on that breaking ball. It actually went the other way.
Two and two on Garrett Mitchell. 2 for 6 so far in the series. And once again, he goes full after jumping ahead early. Strike three. Mitchell down looking.
Well, that's a great located cutter. This is where you want this ball to end up, just on the inside corner to a lefty, and it ties him up, gets the call. But again, a lot of pitches. You know, you're getting ahead. A lot of pitches to get to that 3-2 where you make the perfect pitch.
Grounded foul. Ortiz 2 for 9 in the series so far. He came over from the Orioles as part of the package for Corbin Burns. And we'll see Corbin Burns on Tuesday, first game of the series against the Diamondbacks. Burns left the Orioles after one really good season, signed a free agent deal with Arizona.
Thanks, Michael. A little pre-scouting.
Yeah.
Huh? You and I will be up here warm and cool as a cucumber here on Tuesday.
Fly ball right field. Judge. 2 outs. Well, suit up the season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, T-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear.
I would think sweatshirts and coats are a premium today.
Yeah, the hoodies are big sellers.
Here's Oliver Dunn. Ground ball. Gobbled up by Chisholm. And a nice, easy bounce back 1-2-3 inning for Marcus Stroman. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Week presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. And by Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. 2-1 Yankees. Yeah, it's that sort of day. One guy's going with the blanket, the other guy's going with hot French fries.
Kind of how Paul's dressed up here.
Yeah, I'm looking for warmth any way I can get it at this point.
There's a strike.
Michael, you know it's cold when you pour a cup of coffee, and by the end of the inning, it's cold.
Yep, it's iced coffee. One and one on Wells. Savali missed chunks of 3 straight seasons, but last year he stayed healthy at 31 starts.
Tell you what, he did a really good job with Milwaukee. They were desperate for starters because they had so many injuries. He came over and made those 14 starts in the last 3 months. He's got kind of an interesting windup where he separates and kind of holds it. His arm almost stops moving, and then it kind of jumps at you. So I would think at times his fastball might play up a little bit.
Well, a couple of years, Joe, he shortened his arm action, similar to what Lucas Giolito and Jameson Taillon have done, as he strikes out Wells. And it was the Guardians' assistant pitching coach, Ruben Niebla, who made the suggestion. And Savali said, if he suggested, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, for a hitter to hit the high cutter that's in the middle of the plate. You're used to seeing 4-seamers where you're trying to get on top of it, and then you throw a cutter and it has a little at the end. It goes down, so I think hitters swing over the top of it a lot.
Dominguez fouls it away. He also went with a much shorter windup, try to keep things simpler. And the way he got there, interestingly enough, his first step was throwing a football to disassociate himself from throwing a baseball.
Interesting.
The first person I saw do that, it was in Cincinnati. I walked out on the field and Nolan Ryan was throwing a football. And, you know, it's just a way of getting arm strength. And boy, you can see in slow motion the torque that elbow takes.
Oh,
from
the pronation of the hand.
Yeah.
Popped up off the bat of Dominguez. Dunn in foul territory, running toward the stands. He makes the play. 2 away.
You know, you're talking about opening up with the Milwaukee Brewers, and you were talking about Savali, how he did so well for them coming down the stretch last year. But you know what? The Milwaukee Brewers are one of those teams that are pretty much overachievers. I mean, they've made the playoffs 6 out of the last 7 years. Before that, only 4 other times. So this organization, I know they're not in the best division in baseball, but they know how to play baseball. They build around young players, and they figure out a way because they've gotten rid of a lot of good players and still very competitive.
And they've done it, for me, a lot by building a really strong bullpen year after year after year. And at one point, I remember doing a series where Milwaukee was in the playoffs. I think they were playing the Dodgers in maybe the NLCS. And Woodruff and Corbin Burns were in their bullpen. I mean, that's how strong that bullpen was.
Drill to right field. See ya. Ben Rice into the second deck. 3-1 Yankees.
You say hitting's contagious. I guess home runs are too. I mean, this is just, I don't know if you want to get used to this, just expecting home run after home run. But boy, the Yankees right now coming out of the chute at this season, it's been fun to watch.
Tell you what, they've gotten pretty good practice of lining up in that line for everyone to go through. And what do you say about left-handed hitters? Where don't you want to throw the ball? Down and in, and that's exactly where Savali threw it to Ben Rice, and he deposited in the right field seats.
0-1 on Cabrera.
Now, if you go up and down this lineup, Joe, there's certain people that it's very important. And Ben Rice at sinker just didn't quite stay in there enough, and he was able to put the barrel on it. Back to my point, there's certain guys in the lineup that are more important to get off to good starts, and I think Ben Rice is one of those guys.
A diving play by Frelick to take a base hit away from Cabrera. So a Gold Glove winner last year, and he flashes some leather right there. Looked like a hit off the bat, but Frelick had other ideas. He had no ideas about this, no chance to catch this. Somebody in the second deck, though, got a souvenir on Rice's home run. One out short of getting a win yesterday. Said, listen, if I had made pitches earlier, that wouldn't have been an issue. But the Yankees won, and that's really all he cares about, and that's all that Aaron Boone cares about.
And I think Max has been through it. He understands it's a really long year. He's here for 8 years. He's not worried about just this 1 year. He's also not worried about a win. He's worried about winning a championship because he's had a taste of it in Atlanta and understands the importance of being healthy all year.
And Michael, when I was speaking to Max Fried, I asked him what was one thing you want Yankees fans to know about you. He said, it is all about winning for me. I am a competitor. I don't care about any personal accolades or accomplishments. I just want to make sure we go out there and win games, and I put my team in a position to win games every 5 days. So, Joe, to your point, not worried about that one win, just wants to have a good season.
1-2 on Terang. Now, between innings, Nestor Cortez came to the top of the dugout steps on the third base side. They put him on the scoreboard, and crowd gave him a nice ovation, and Aaron Boone was also clapping when Nestor was shown on the scoreboard. It was a rough outing for Cortez yesterday for sure, but I was talking to some of the Brewer broadcasters, and they said Nestor's been unbelievable in spring training. He's helping all pitchers with changeup grips and stuff like that, trying to impart some advice, but just a bad first outing. 3-2 on Terang. Led off the game with a single left, stole second, and then scored. There's Nestor with platinum hair.
And Michael actually spoke to Nestor Cortez yesterday about that hair, and he said, well, he couldn't necessarily do stuff like that with the Yankees at the time, so he thought he would try something new as Oswaldo Cabrera gets the first out of the inning. And he also had mentioned that he's still in touch with Aaron Boone, and he was very invested in what the Yankees were doing with the backup catcher role because J.C. Escarra and him come from the same area. They knew each other growing up, played against each other growing up, so he'd text Boone periodically to say, is Escarra making the team? Is Escarra making the team? And Aaron was finally able to say, yep, he is going to be on the roster. So those two actually had a jersey exchange on opening day, which was pretty cool to see.
Well, Meredith, unfortunately, Nestor really misinterpreted the rules. You can dye your hair in the old rules. You just couldn't have a mustache or long hair.
That's true, and he was asked about that, and he said, I don't even think about that because I'm not there anymore. But he does have a little bit of a beard going. And, Michael, he is soon to be a father. His wife is pregnant, and within the next week, she's expected to have the baby. So,
to a man, the Yankees really liked that guy. They really did. But they had an opportunity to get one of the best closers in baseball in Devin Williams, and Milwaukee needed a starter, and the Yankees had an abundance of starters at the time.
Well, I think both teams, what they did is they traded from a position of strength. Here's them exchanging the uniforms yesterday. That's pretty cool, right? From the same area, faced each other probably many, many times.
and Joe, I asked about Nestor in high school. J.C. Escarra I asked, and he said he was nasty then too.
I had the pleasure of meeting him today down in the tunnel for the first time, and you could not ask for a nicer kid. Good movement up in the strike zone for strike three. You know, and I also talked to Big G Stanton down there today, and then I talked to Wells, and when I walked away, I was like, you know what? These are nice kids, just nice people, and you don't always feel that when you have a conversation, you know, with players. You walk away and like, oh, you're a good player, but you know what? When I walked away from in the locker room today, you got some good people down there.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. You're calling them kids, right?
Yeah, well, when you're 80 like me and you, we're all kids.
You know why I'm laughing, Joe? Because when I would walk away from O'Neill when he was a player, I go, that guy's not a nice guy.
You didn't say the same story? Huh.
Good player, but not a nice guy. But then he came up here, and he's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Didn't show that side of yourself.
Just stay away from me, because you brought your dog to work today on your coat. And I don't want hair all over me.
That's right. Butter's all over me. My golden retriever. 2-2 on Yelich.
I can only imagine some of your thoughts when you went away from our interviews, huh?
Oh, my goodness. It was like pulling teeth.
What a nice guy that guy is.
Without Novocaine. The rolling of the eyes, the throwing the head back in disgust. You're a jinx.
Hand on the hips.
Oh. This game does weird things to you, Michael.
You ever think about writing a book about the weird things it did to you?
Might as well. We got a couple other books out. Michael, you might as well fire one out, too.
Getting Emily to tell some stories. I'm sure she's got plenty.
She's probably got more than I got, because half the time I was out of my mind and didn't even remember them.
3-2 on Yelich. Flied out to right in the first. Hit sharply right at Chisholm. 7 in a row retired by Marcus Stroman. We go to the bottom of the third. Yankees up by 2. Official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Today's submission is 1-week-old Vivian, who was born just in time to watch the first weekend of the 2025 season. Welcome to the world, Vivian, an early Yankee fan. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game like we just did with Vivian.
Don't promise anything, Michael.
No, we
Promise.
might. We might. Yeah.
How about Vivian seeing 13 homers in 2 1/3 games?
Welcome to the world. Welcome to Aaron Judge's world. We just hit homers every at
I don't
bat.
think she'll have a question why they're called the Bronx Bombers.
Goldschmidt takes a strike. He led off the first inning with a single left and came around to score on Judge's home run. So Judge is up third this inning. This is Judge's 996th career game. In that time, he has the 5th highest slugging percentage among players who've played that many games. Slow roller to third. So when we talk about one of the great hitters that you'll ever see, the 4 guys ahead of him, all right, for highest slugging percentage in that many games, Babe Ruth was .690. Ted Williams, .634. Lou Gehrig, .632. Jimmy Fox, .609. Aaron Judge, .608.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, when you put these comparisons up there, I mean, it's pretty evident that, you know, what he has done. What is his 10th year in the Major Leagues?
He's now eligible for the Hall of Fame.
10 years already he's been here.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, 1 on Bellinger. You know, we talked about the 9 home runs the Yankees hit. That's the most in franchise history, and it ties the Cincinnati team, who had 9 home runs in 1999 at Philadelphia. And ironically enough, how everything just comes together, the first home run that the Reds had that day was off the bat of Aaron Boone.
Wow.
A 3-run shot off of Paul Byrd. And now he managed the team that had 9 home runs. Only the Blue Jays have had more in a game, 10 home runs for them.
Cesar Ball is trying to go in and out, and changing the eye level a little bit with that sinker. He's throwing the 2-seamer, he's throwing the cutter, and he'll throw both of them on each side of the plate. That's the interesting thing about him.
Yeah, this was a bomb. I mean, this was his first of the year, but Disco went up above the bullpen into the stands. Always good to get that first one out of the way.
Lofted left field, and it falls untouched.
Tell you what, the poor ball person was right in the middle of that. The left fielder and the third baseman coming out of their ball right at her. Look at this. I got to get out of the way here. And she got nowhere to go. She got a left fielder running at her. About hit her.
Proper protocol, though. Grab the Benjamin Moore bucket. Get everything out of the way.
Probably warmed her up a little bit, right? Got her heartbeat going a little bit. I tell you, as a hitter, sometimes when they throw balls inside, it feels like it's chasing you, right? Like that ball was chasing her. Tell you what, those foul tips as a catcher, too, on cold days like this hurt a little bit more. It looked like William Contreras got that one off his toe.
High fly ball right field. Frelick comes on. 2 outs. It is time for Coors Light, beating the pressure. Most home runs in the first 3 games of the season. The Tigers in 2006 had 15. 19 Dodgers had 13, and the Yankees tied them. They have 13. Here's Judge, who has 4 of those 13.
Yeah, at what point as a manager do you say, all right, Aaron Judge is on a tear here. You know, the base is open. We just cannot give in.
Like right now?
Yeah.
I think that works.
You just can't continue to pump fastballs down the middle.
He's hit a couple cutters.
Mm-hmm.
The one pitch that worked on him was that slow curveball from Jake Bauers, the first baseman. You may want to walk to the mound and say, here's what you do. I mean, I think they're being really careful here.
You might as well.
They're going to walk.
Why waste a pitch? Just put him on first base.
Well, Pat Murphy's been around. That's probably the play.
An opportunity to talk to Pat Murphy in the dugout today, and you know, you could just tell he is an old-time baseball guy, friendly guy, knows the game. Fun to see. Guys like that's been through the college ranks, now in the major leagues.
He's so grateful to be here, to be the manager. He's got nicknames for everybody. First Milwaukee manager to be manager of the year, and you think about all the great years that Craig Counsell had there. You look at what he's done, second season here, 93 and 69. They were not expected to win their division. They won by 10 games. 8 years under Craig Counsell. Craig Counsell had him as a college coach, though, at Notre Dame. Craig played for Pat, and that's where the relationship started.
And when Counsell unexpectedly took the Cubs job, the thought was that Murphy would go with him to Chicago, but Milwaukee offered him the manager's job.
He took Arizona State to the College World Series 4 separate times. So.
Drilled to right field off the bat of Chisholm. A line drive into the short porch. The Bronx Bombers living here on this Sunday. It is 5-1 Yanks.
Well, Michael, you were talking about Chisholm. He has some lofty goals for this year. Well, he's getting off to a good start. His first home run yesterday. Today, a hard hit line drive that just made it out of here in Yankee Stadium. Got a lot of talent, huh? When he came here last year, I didn't realize the power, the speed. He can do a lot of things.
The other thing is he can turn around anyone's fastball. It doesn't matter whether it's a left-hander or right-hander. You could throw it inside. He's going to get to it. You make a mistake with a fastball, he's going to hit it hard. Just another beautiful sound. If you're a Yankee fan.
Yeah. Savali probably didn't like it so much.
I mean, his woes continue here against the Yankees. I mean, he pitched really well last year, but he really struggles against the Yankees. Last year, 4 2/3, he gave up 5 runs, a career ERA of 6.32. He's got good stuff, but a lot of the stuff that's been hit has been cutters, and they've won a long ways.
Never seen a pitch that a good cutter, probably the hardest pitch in baseball to hit. A bad cutter, the easiest pitch. So it's got to be thrown perfectly, and I think that's the problem with all these pitchers that have fallen in love with the cut fastball. If you don't execute the pitch perfectly, it gets hit hard.
Turang will make the catch and retire Volpe. But the Yankees, they're loving the home runs. The 14th of the year by the team. Jazz Chisholm goes the short way, a 2-run shot. Yankees lead by 4. Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Clark Schmidt scheduled to pitch off the mound tomorrow, currently on the 15-day IL with right shoulder fatigue, and he could join the Yankees rotation in mid-April. And Meredith, you have more on the injury front.
Well, as I told you yesterday, Michael, Ian Hamilton was scheduled to start his rehab assignment. He did pitch yesterday, spoke to him in the clubhouse today, said all went well, feels good today. He's expected to get another appearance on Wednesday with the Rail Riders. Also, I caught up with Giancarlo Stanton. He said it's not only hitting in the cage, he's hitting off the traject machine as well. He feels like that could expedite getting him back a little bit, but still no time frame on him. He is encouraged with the progress he's making, though.
He's probably watching all these home runs and said, I want to be part of this party. That one's punched through the right side, a base hit for Contreras.
Yeah, this is actually just, he threw, starting with a breaking ball, he throws him another one that just doesn't have the same bite. And Contreras, he is a guy that will use the whole field. It's a hard ground ball through the hole.
You look at the catcher's position now, Joe, and how much it is based around, receiving the ball and calling the game defensively, where, if you get a guy like Contreras, who's a good defensive catcher, but adds the offense that he does, I mean, you are really stealing something.
Yeah, you really have something. And he plays so much. 120 games as a catcher, 35 as a DH, 155 games last year. Loves to play. He would go into Pat's office and say, no, I'm playing today. You remember you used to do that? Joe would take you out and you say, no, I want to play today.
Didn't always work, but he gave it a shot.
Well, you'd go 0 for 4 and then you'd be mad that you played.
You should have known.
And I would tell you, just talk to me. I'll tell you if it's a good matchup. But he loves to play, and they love having him. And I think one of the things that has helped catchers, especially catchers that are offensive catchers, is they catch from one knee now. It's not as taxing as it used to be when you were catching always up.
Great point. Hey, you look what he did last year, 281, 23 home runs and 92 RBI. So that's a lot of production.
Led all catchers in extra base hits.
Now, when you caught, Joe, it was not the thing to go on one knee, but did you ever do that to give yourself a little bit of a break when no one was on base?
No, I wasn't smart enough. and my game was really not offense, Michael. I was more of a defensive guy. So
but you don't want to wear yourself out.
Yeah, but I was more of a defensive guy, like I said, Michael.
The first guy that I ever remember was Sandy Alomar. Remember, he used to have those things he wore behind his knees that kind of helped you a little bit. He was the first guy that I saw as a catcher, trying to save his body a little bit.
Yeah, but he was still up. It just, your knees didn't bend as much. Like you didn't, and he has bad knees, but like Tony Pena used to stick the one knee down and the one leg way out. I think Manny Sanguillen did it too with the Pirates, but it saves their legs. And I talked to JT about it, Real Muto, and he said it's unbelievable the difference. It's almost like you're a right fielder standing out there.
I'll tell you one
might be harder in right field.
It looks easy to get down like that. I don't know if I can get up. It's the only problem. Just get a little older, getting up from that position is hard.
(3-1) to Bowers. Ripped to right field, right down the line, and that ball is gone. Might have hit off the screen, but it is a home run for Bowers, a 2-run blast, and it's 5-3.
As Chisholm did, the line drive down the line, but this did. I think, Michael, you were correct. It hit the screen. Milwaukee grinding back, right back in the game.
Well, you saw that yesterday. Even when they were down a lot, they kept coming back, and it's a ball that just doesn't end up where it's supposed to. And about 109 off the bat, about the same velocity as Jazz Chisholm. I think Jazz was 110. But they talked about Jake Bowers He had a lot of big home runs for him last year. Was really productive in his at-bats. Can play left and right, too. Rhys Hoskins probably not in there today because of his struggles off of Marcus Stroman.
Fly ball center field off the bat of Mitchell. Bellinger's there. I feel for the poor guy in the right field seats. He had it lined up. He had a glove.
And then
bang against the screen.
Yeah, it's just not right.
He looked so disappointed.
Well, I think you ought to search that guy out after the game, Michael, and give him the ball.
Watch him.
Right there. Up.
He had it.
Now you see it. Now you don't.
You could see the look of dejection. There's a strike to Joey Ortiz.
So you start reading what's going on the bat. I mean, Marcus Stroman had a really, really good third inning. Ground balls. Now this inning, stuff up in the strike zone. Ball's getting elevated. So do you start to notice possibly the sinker not sinking as much? Or you got to get a read, right?
Don Zimmer gave me great advice about pitchers. He said, read the swings. The swings will tell you when a pitcher's almost done because they start to foul more balls off.
Yeah.
They start to center balls, and that's when you have to worry about a guy's stuff. Yeah, you can have a pitch count in mind and maybe where they start to struggle.
Ortiz pops it up to Goldschmidt, and that'll do it as Milwaukee gets 2 runs on the Bowers home run. Yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com and buy Untuckit. Find the perfect fit today at Untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. Some of the players that have modeled both uniforms and it might surprise some. One of them was Willie Randolph, had a pretty good year with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Looks like Austin Wells is getting a scouting report on the new Brewer pitcher, Tyler Alexander. That's what he did last year. Wells struck out in the second. So Savali done after just 3 innings, allowing 3 more Yankee home runs.
Guess what pitch he uses the most, partner?
Breaking ball?
Cutter.
Cutter, yeah. It's taking over the game.
Mariano Rivera had a real influence on this game. He's got actually 5 pitches. He'll throw a 4-seamer, a sweeper, a change, and he'll throw a sinker. So he's got all 3 fastballs. Main breaking ball is the sweeper.
Oh. Now, after that ball tailing away, and then you get that from a left-hander, that is a purpose pitch, and it just eats you up. See the 2 seams, and it rides right up under your hands.
Well, you're looking for that cutter. You think it's going to be over the middle of the plate, and you're going to hammer it, and that ball runs in on you, that sinker.
You go to swing at that ball, and you just hope you don't make contact because it's going to hurt.
Don't hit it off your thumbs.
So last year, 23 games, 9 starts for Tampa Bay, 5.10 ERA. Started, he was the bulk guy after an opener, and he said he loved it. He said he loved being a swingman. Almost made some history on August 2nd of 2020 against the Reds. Came in from the bullpen and struck out the first 9 batters he faced. That tied an American League record for consecutive strikeouts and a Major League record for relievers. And he was 1 strike away from tying Tom Seaver's Major League record of 10 straight, but on a 1-2 pitch he hit Mike Moustakas.
Wow. Figure lefty on lefty, he had a pretty good chance if he doesn't hit him.
He said, I don't usually go for strikeouts, but after 5 I was going for him. Fly ball off the bat of Wells. Churio makes the play. So his hat from that game went to the Hall of Fame. And the 9 straight strikeouts broke the record for relief pitchers, which was held by Ron Davis of the Yankees, who struck out 8 straight Angels in May of 1981. One of the father-son combos has played for the Yankees, Ron Davis and Ike Davis, Cody and Clay.
That's been 4, right?
And Yogi and Dale.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, there's one more.
Leiter Jr.
Yes, Mark Leiter and Mark Leiter Jr. 0-1 on Dominguez. Picked up his first hit of the game yesterday, first hit of the season yesterday, a single. So he's 1 for 7 in the early going.
Got some walks in there, though. I mean, he's been patient. Guys see a lot of pitches. You got to believe they're going to start to hit.
Now, this is statistically his weaker side, but the Yankees see good things from the side. He has not been able to get as many ABs over the course of his minor league career because he's been hurt a lot. You know, Joe spoke about this yesterday in Aaron Boone's office in spring training. Jorge Posada was breaking down his swing. And Jorge was such a great switch hitter. And I was just amazed at how locked in and informed Jorge was about every single player on the team. So I think he must be a big yes viewer.
Give him a shout here and see if he's watching. Huh? See if he's okay with Dominguez, because he had talked that he was not loading
correct
on his right side.
He's loading now, though.
I mean, it must be so difficult, Paul. I mean, you knew how difficult it was to get your swing right from one side. Switch hitters have to do it from both sides. They have to put in double the work.
Yeah, but it's such a huge advantage. You're never uncomfortable with the plate. But, you know, you're right. And I thought the funny thing was, I talked to Bernie about it numerous times, you could be hot left-handed and cold right-handed and vice versa. Seldom was it all, you know, just hot. And, you know, it does take a lot of work, but boy, what an advantage to be able to turn around and hit some nasty lefty from the right side.
I think it was Jorge's dad who turned him into a switch hitter, and for Bernie, it was Buck Showalter. He said, you know, you should give this a try. Just give it a try, and if it doesn't work, you could stop. But he stayed with it and obviously benefited him.
Well, the Yankees have had some really productive switch hitters. You know, I think about the people that I've managed or either played with. You know, Bernie and Jorge, and then you got
Chili.
That's right. You had Swish, Carlos Beltran, Milky Cabrera.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a great luxury in a lineup.
Ben Rice with a ground ball to second. There's one. And there's two. As Alexander comes in and keeps the Yankees off the board. We'll go to the 5th. Homer again, 3 so far today. They lead 5-3 over Milwaukee. Marcus Stroman, his 5th inning of work. It'll be 9-1-2 in Milwaukee's order, starting with Oliver Dunn. Pitch upstairs.
Well, let's put you back as a manager here, Joe. So you're looking at Marcus Stroman, and you've got the lead. He's only got, what, 68 pitches? But you know you're going to end up this game in the bullpen. Are you going hitter to hitter now? Are you just trying to get him through 5?
I would love to get him through 5 because then I can set up the bullpen when I want. And they got a couple different pockets for me that you could use Tim Hill, you know, in this. You could do it 1, 2, and 3, or you could do it 3, 4, and 5. If you do it 5, 6, 7, they're probably going to pinch hit for the 6 and 7. They're going to bring some right-handers in, a Rhys Hoskins and a Vinny Capra. So his pockets.
Oh, what a play by Volpe. Wow. Takes a base hit away from Dunn.
Michael, I think that's the first sparkler of the year. Huh?
That's a sparkler for sure.
This ball is hit hard, and this is just a reaction. You see him almost right behind second base when he comes up with this ball. And big outs are outs to me that, you know, leadoff hits really set up innings. This was a hit taken away, falling away, still able to glove it. Great play by Volpe.
Usually when you fall on your back, you don't have enough time, but
Yeah.
it hit so hard that it gave him time to just stand up and make an accurate throw.
And it looked, Joe, as if the ball redirected on him.
Yes.
That's why he had to reach back.
When it hit, it went back the other way. But you were talking about the pockets. So to me, you're going to want to use Tim Hill somewhere between 1 and 5 in that order. So if you get through this, you maybe save him until the 7th or the 8th. To where you could use him, or you could use him in the 6th if you're Yelich, Contreras, and Frelick, because they never pinch hit for Frelick and Yelich. And there he is.
Yeah, you've got 6 left-handers in the lineup at this point, but you know that he has the ability to pinch hit for a couple of them. So if you're Aaron Boone, you got to watch, like you said, your pockets where you're going to face lefties that they don't pinch hit for.
Well, they will pinch hit for Bowers, Mitchell, and Dunn. But the other 3, I don't think they will.
Fly ball left field. Dominguez drifts back. Dominguez puts it away. Dominguez had a grin on his face because it almost didn't stay in the glove.
You kind of want to keep it above your head, the glove, right? So your eye watches it right into the mid. And when it gets to the side, your perception's a little different.
Right. And you don't want to hide the ball either right in front of your face. So it's, you got to concentrate till that ball hits the pocket, period. See, that's kind of a little low. You're right. You actually lose the sight of the ball the last couple inches where, if you're raising your glove up a little bit, you watch that ball go into the glove.
And, Paul, the last thing you want on a day like this is an ice cream cone. Which
no, we're going to take the day off on that. I mean, we had the tiramisu up here yesterday. We'll take off yesterday.
0-2 on Jackson Chourio.
This is such a big out for me because of what Tim Hill does. And then he would get Yelich, Contreras, and Frelick. And if you want to pinch hit for Jake Bowers, then I can bring my righty in.
Yep.
So you're getting the advantage in the at-bats that you want. So this is a big out.
You're not a big fan of the 3-batter rule.
No, it's my least favorite rule, yes. If I was king for a day, Michael, that rule would go away.
Oh, double pump there from Marcus Stroman.
Line to left field, and it's going to be played on a hop by Dominguez, who keeps it in front of him. So a single for Chourio.
And you look defensively as you see Aaron Boone going out there is going to head to the bullpen, I'm sure. And Marcus Stroman, you saw his reaction, a little frustrated that he couldn't get through the 5th inning.
Very conservative there by Dominguez. You think he could have made that play, Paul?
Well, you know what? 2 outs, you're not going to charge that ball and let it get by you. I mean, you're better off right there. Make your decision, block the ball, keep him at first base. And right there, he's kind of caught in between. So you just knock it down like a catcher, keep it in front of you.
Well, for the second game in a row, Yankee starters go 4 2/3, 1 batter short, 1 out short of qualifying for a win. Is brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Aaron Boone goes over to talk with Marcus Stroman. 4 2/3 for Marcus. The runner at first, his responsibility. So Hill comes on to face Christian Yelich.
And as a manager, that's where you have to kind of be the buffer in a sense, and you have to be able to talk to your players because a win means something to Marcus. But in today's game, wins don't mean a lot who gets it. It's about just winning the game. But pitchers still have a lot of pride in that, and you got to talk to them and say, hey, we just think it's the right time to do this. I mean, you got a lefty on the mound with a base stealer, so it's going to be hard to run, who gets ground balls, so it's probably going to take 2 hits to score a run, and this is his pocket to bring him in, and we're trying to win the game.
And he does the job with the first batter. He faces striking out Yelich. We're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. Prevagen, made for your brain. Those are the numbers. 292 average, 1,840 hits, 1,194 ribbies. So played for the Yankees for a good portion, then the Cubs, the Brooklyn Dodgers, and the New York Giants. 1926 to 1937.
So the number here, is
difficulty.
That level of difficulty?
10 is the hardest.
What was yesterday's?
Yesterday was a 2.
2.
I mean, Paul got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's because it was multiple choice, I told you. Golly.
Wow, Michael.
You said I took my first jab. Well,
that was a big one. That was a knockout punch.
That came right over the top and just slapped me right in the face.
Another switch hitter. And it's so hard. We talk about this, about they're just not getting enough at-bats versus left-handers. And if I recall correctly, I'd ask Bernie, how do you do it? And he said, well, my cage work would be against the opposite that I was going to do that day. And all my work on the field, if I was going to hit left-handed, would be left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine you having to worry about 2 swings?
You know what? It's very, very hard because, you would go to the park sometimes 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 400 or 500 swings was not, especially when Matling was here. We would just pound balls in the cage for hours. And, if you have to double that, yeah. I don't know what you got time for.
A lot of people say, Paul, and you lived it with him, he took so much batting practice, Mattingly, that could have led to the back problems.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's part of the game. Obviously, swinging over and over and over again. But, yeah, when you do a ton of cage work every single day, it wears on you before the year's over.
And when the back acted up, Paul, he had to cut down considerably. So a strikeout of Cabrera. Here's Goldschmidt, who's 1 for 2. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees lead 5-3, trying to sweep Milwaukee out of the Bronx.
Look at extra work, though, Michael, and cage work is fun. There's nothing more fun than going down, hitting line drives. I used to look at the catcher's drills when they'd have the jugs guns out there just shooting them at the dirt off, and then they'd ricocheting off you. I'm just thinking, what a dumb position. Like, wow.
You didn't think that looked like fun?
Balls were blowing off your knee, off your shoulder. I'm like, man, that looks like a blast. I'm going to go take some easy fly balls. How's that?
Well, I had Gary Tuck, who was, to me, the best catching instructor that I ever had, and maybe ever put the uniform on. And we never did, like, baseballs. We did Incrediballs.
Ah, okay.
Because walking's an instinct, right? And if your instinct when you're practicing is to protect yourself, that's what you're going to do in the game.
Yeah.
So I go over to Chicago in 2000, and they're trying to do the jugs, and they're giving you pads like football players wear on your arms. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I mean, this makes no sense.
So you said you use Incrediballs. What are those?
Incrediballs is just like, it's like a baseball and almost the same weight, but it's just soft. So when it hits you, it doesn't necessarily hurt. And then it becomes an instinct.
Gary Tuck had some drills.
Oh, yeah.
He had hitting drills, too. I was struggling one time when we were in the Metrodome. He said, I want to go out early with you. I'm going to show you something. I said, all right. I went out, and we were hitting off a tee at home plate. You know how most of the time you just hit off a tee in the cage. We were hitting off the tee at home plate and seeing where it was going on the field, if the ball was carrying and this. I loved it.
You know what I remember about that day? I was there. it was the Metrodome was dark.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't very, you could see, but it was still, the lights weren't on yet. Felt like we were sneaking around.
Yeah. On the road, there's no reason. I mean, you get bored in the hotel room. You go to the ballpark early and get a little work in. I still don't believe it. Looking back at the Metrodome, the stairs. There was like, 6 or 8 platforms of stairs.
It was a lot.
And there was the old thing that Cal Ripken ran up those stairs in 6 steps or something. It's like physically impossible.
Probably a little exaggeration on both sides, but I know exactly. It was a lot of steps in what they said he did. Yeah. Alexander's come in and done a really good job for the first 5 outs here. He's settled down. He's used his cutter and his breaking ball effectively. He's elevated. You talk about Milwaukee, whose bullpen, 8 guys in their bullpen, a couple of rookies that threw yesterday. They probably don't want to use them, and McGill has not thrown their closer yet, but they play tomorrow. I mean, the Yankees have tomorrow off. They don't.
Yeah, they go home for opening day in Milwaukee, right?
Yes, against Kansas City.
Fly ball, left field. Churio makes the play to retire Bellinger. Yankees go down in order against Alexander, and we'll go to the top of the 6th inning. Yankees up 5-3.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
Huh?
Impressive.
There you go.
Give me a little high five on that, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Because I got nothing on that.
We will go to the top of the 6th inning. Tim Hill still in there. Montefiore Einstein scoreboard. It's 5-3. Yankees over Milwaukee. And the pitch is high to Contreras. He's walked and singled and scored. So 2-0 on the cleanup hitter. Yankees lead 5-3. 3 more home runs for the Yankees in this game after 9 yesterday. And there's a strike. Five runs on 4 hits for the Yankees. 3 runs on 5 hits for Milwaukee.
How would you like to face Tim Hill, partner?
It's not the release point I'm looking for, to tell you the truth. No.
Line drive right at Chisholm. 1 away. Well, yesterday, as you may have noticed, we started notifying Comcast Xfinity customers that Comcast will drop the Yes Network tomorrow night. That's Monday night at midnight. Now we have in the booth with us John Littner, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Yes Network. And John's going to speak about the situation. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Michael. Wow, these are great seats. What an exciting start to the Yankee season. It's been quite the home run derby here. I just want to come on and explain to our great fans who watch the Yankees on Comcast Xfinity what Comcast has told us will happen to the Yes Network tomorrow night at midnight. Despite our attempts to negotiate a new carriage agreement with them, Comcast has refused to negotiate. Instead, they have informed us that they will drop the Yes Network from their programming lineup Monday night at midnight. So I just want to take a moment to explain what this is all about. Over the last 20-plus years, Yes has been widely distributed on expanded basic cable by Comcast and by our other distributors in the tri-state region. And that wide distribution has included equal carriage for all the regional sports networks in this market, including SNY and MSG. In fact, in the last 12 to 15 months, we have reached agreements with all of our largest distributors to continue to provide wide distribution for Yes on expanded basic or on a equivalent broadly distributed package, so our great fans, our most loyal fans, can continue to enjoy Yankees baseball on Yes just as they can today. So what is happening right now with Comcast, based on their unwillingness to carry Yes in the same package as their own network, SNY, is this. They are demanding that Yes move to a more expensive digital package that will cost you, its loyal customers, $20 more per month. At the same time, Comcast continues to give their own networks, including SNY, preferential treatment by keeping them in the less costly package. And this is exactly the bullying tactic Comcast used against MSG networks a few years ago, which resulted in MSG being dropped by Comcast. I guess it's the Comcast playbook to favor their own networks and disadvantage networks they do not own.
Well, what can fans do, John, before we break?
Well, what I'd like to say is that they should call Comcast and demand that Comcast get to the negotiating table. They have yet to negotiate, or their elected officials, or switch to other distributors who value the Yankees and the Yes Network. It's as simple as that. We are not going to pull our signal. We have told Comcast that. And so if Comcast elects to drop the Yes Network from its programming lineup Monday night at midnight, it is precisely because Comcast elected to do so.
And we gave you the number, 1-800-XFINITY, 1-800-934-6489, if you want to contact Comcast about this. Thank you, John, for giving us clarity on that. And for our Yankee fans and Yes Network viewers, we certainly hope that this can be worked out.
We do as well. You deserve nothing less. Let's get back to baseball.
Thank you so much, John. That's John Lichtner, the president and the CEO of the Yes Network. So hopefully this can be worked out for everybody that's viewing the game today. And it's such an exciting Yankee team this year. You don't want to miss a game for sure. All right, we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Tickets for all 2025 Yankees home games are on sale at Yankees.com. This season's home schedule includes some great promotional giveaways and is highlighted by interleague games against the Giants, Cubs, and the Phillies, as well as the annual Subway Series games against the Mets. For more information and to get your 2025 Yankee tickets, visit Yankees.com today. All right, so Aaron Judge is going to lead off here in the sixth inning. You know, we mentioned Aaron in his 10th year of baseball. A lot of people on social media were saying, well, he won the Rookie of the Year in 2017, but he first appeared in a big league game in 2016, so this is his 10th year playing in the major leagues. Not 10 years of service, but certainly his 10th year of playing in the big leagues. And here he is leading off the bottom of the sixth. He has a home run today, and he's been intentionally walked.
Yeah, and the reason he was allowed to play in 16 and still be Rookie of the Year in 17 is he got hurt. He hurt a rib cage muscle and missed a lot of time in 16. Came up, I believe, in July it was. And then he missed a lot of time and didn't have the at-bats to be considered. You know, he had few enough at-bats to be considered a rookie the following year.
Well, this is a tough situation for Alexander because you really can't intentionally walk him at this point. He's a leadoff. You don't want to set up an inning, but you know, you're just not going to give in.
Well, the last time they walked him, they were behind 3-0, and Jazz Chisholm hit a 2-run home run. And you look, you're down 2 runs. Not that they would have got him out, but I mean that's the risk you take.
I will always remember Judge's first home run because Joe Torre was in the booth, and he hit the ball against the restaurant over Monument Park. The first of many to come.
Who was the other young kid that hit one that day?
It was right before him. They went back to back. Austin something?
Yes. First base.
Tyler Austin. Yeah, Tyler Austin.
And we were all so excited because you have these 2 kids going in, and then Aaron got hurt shortly after that.
So Judge works a walk. Alexander did go after him, and that was a very close pitch, but Judge eyeballed it and takes ball 4 to walk for the second time. Let's take a look at the Audi around the majors. Shohei Ohtani threw his first bullpen since February 25th. He could make his pitching debut in May. I mean, what's he doing when he's not pitching? Jose Ramirez exited yesterday's game, mild right wrist sprain. And Eugenio Suarez, 4 home runs, 7 ribbies at the start of the season. It's almost like he's a Yankee.
Yeah, you would think, boy, he's having a great start until you look at Aaron Judge.
He's coming into town, too, Michael?
Yep. Diamondbacks Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You know, we talked yesterday about the Yankees with the what they're calling the torpedo bats, and boy, it certainly got a lot of attention around Major League Baseball. And you know, what Major League Baseball came out and said right away, you know, this is totally legal. And some of the players don't use it. I think there's only 4 or 5. Now, Jazz is one of the guys that use it, and you actually saw the bat down in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I went down intentionally to take a look at it, and when I picked it up, I'm like, wow, this feels great. Because as a hitter, you always want to look at the barrel of your bat. As you know, it just looks like it wants to hit, and then that one did hit. Chisholm hits a ball through the right side, but it much resembles kind of a bowling pin. And what you've done is, you know, if you look at the rules, it doesn't have anything to even suggest that it's against the rules. You've taken some of the wood from the top of the bat and added it, you know, kind of rounded it off where you don't want to hit the ball on the end of the bat anyway. It just it's a good feeling bat, and it almost personalized the way you shape your bat.
And that's that bat in use. And you can see it hit the thicker part of the bat. Now, the Yankees are designing the bats based on the profiles of their hitters to maximize the production at the plate. Now, everything is meticulously tailored to the individual hitters. Now, for the players who are interested, they researched and designed bats with the players in the loop throughout the process. It's much more involved than just giving out one standard bat to all of the players. And bat fitting is something that bat manufacturers have offered for years. It's also common in other sports such as golf and tennis. They're just trying to catch up and do what they can to tailor designs in-house. It's not forced on the players at all. The Yankees wanted to really stress that. Just like anything else, they want to provide and offer the players a wide array of options to improve their game and allow them to opt into what resonates most with them. Some guys won't use it. Some guys don't want to use it, like Aaron Judge doesn't use it. But it's interesting, and it does. I think the interesting thing about all this is that when you hear analytics, I think most fans look at it in a negative light. They think about how the game has become computerized. But the guys and gals that work in the analytics department of all teams, and we're talking about the Yankees now, they are trying to find an edge in every single thing, working within the margins, but finding an edge to make everybody better. And it shows you they're working countless hours to try to find stuff like this. So they saw so many balls hit at this part of the bat for some players. Let's make that part of the bat a little bit thicker. And, you know, yesterday, the day that we actually said it on the air, they go and hit 9 home runs.
Well, and the interesting, I had people calling me saying, what, are the Yankees are making bats? They can't do that. I'm like, no, the Yankees aren't making the bat.
Right.
They're helping players come up with what is comfortable for them, profiling them, and then helping them design the bat to whatever company they like to use.
And it's
Volpe with a high fly ball to center. Mitchell will make the catch. Tagging is Judge, and he will go to third. Moving to second is Chisholm. Now let's take a look at the Yankee home runs the last 2 days on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. So a nice rainbow effect there. 12 of them. The total distance, 4,834 feet. Not too bad. So that bat's working for some of those guys.
You know what? And it's not like the Yankee organization is the only organization doing this. I mean, other teams are working on the same thing. So it's an option for everybody.
Well, Milwaukee will go to the bullpen. Yankees have second and third, one out. And Paul, these home runs just look more dramatic in slow-mo.
Well, you know what? If you watch an Aaron Judge, they're dramatic to start with because they go far. But then Ben Rice, this was a really good swing by him, getting to a ball inside. Chaz Chisholm, nice balanced swing, line drive, just makes it into the seats. But the Bombers have been bombing early here in this season.
Well, they bring in Jared Koenig, the left-hander out of the bullpen. Then Milwaukee will bring its infield in. You see the numbers on Koenig last season. Wells against the lefty. And there's a strike.
Well, you might wonder, why would you bring in another lefty And Jared Kennick is more of a strikeout pitcher with striking out 63 and 62 innings, where Alexander was only 90 and 107. And the average is lower for left-handers. So that's why you do this move.
And that one gets past Contreras. Here comes Judge. He'll score. 6-3 Yankees as Chisholm moves to third.
Boy, really kind of dropped down there and just crossfired this in the other batter's box. Not a lot of chance. Got a glove going the wrong way, and then nothing you could do, huh, Joe?
Yeah, Roger Clemens just called that a windshield wiper when your hand went like that instead of getting around it, and it ends up back at the screen. And it's just a tough pitch, and a lot of times when it's cold, pitchers just don't have the same feeling and command.
Nice play there by Bowers, but that's going to score a run as Chisholm scores on the ground out, and the Yankees now lead 7-3.
Well, the Yankees took a chance with Chisholm's speed to go on contact. This ball hit hard. Good solid at bat. Another run played by the Yankees.
Well, this is just great base running all around. The whole inning, Aaron Judge first tagging up from second. He kind of went halfway on the ball that Volpe hit, and then Jazz moved up behind him, and then the good read there by Jazz. You're always taught we're going to go on contact usually with one out. Or you see the big lead. If he has to leave his feet, you're going. And he was going on contact, read it very well, and scored. That's just really good base running. Something I think the Yankees' overall base running will be much better this year.
1-1 on Dominguez. 0 for 1 with a walk today.
Never liked playing contact with nobody out, but with one out, I liked playing, especially if the base runner had speed, and with the lefty, he could get a much bigger lead, and you can really take a chance.
Yeah, a lot of things happen on contact. A lot of things have to happen well for defense. It's got to be right at him. It's got to be a good throw. You got to be in balance. So the Yankees just stole a couple runs in that inning.
Sports app, your new home for streaming live Yankees, Nets, and more, free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now and sign in with your existing Yes app, username and password, or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. So Bellinger moves over to left field, and Grisham takes over in center. Mark Leiter Jr. will come on to pitch the seventh.
Well, it's apparent the last few days late in the game, you've seen the defensive, Aaron Boone is not going to give Dominguez an opportunity to do something late in the game that's going to leave a mark on the game. And that can change. If Dominguez shows that he can play left field, which I believe he can, he has all the tools to, then you'll get away from this. But right now, that's what's going to happen.
One of the things I think they're being smart about, they want to get him through this homestand where there's not a glaring mistake out in the field, where it becomes what it became with Gary Sanchez, where everybody was looking pass ball, and it kind of bled into the offensive end of it. But if you get him through it with an uneventful 6 games in left field, then he's probably okay.
Michael, I always think we talk about doing that with players offensively. You start them at the bottom of the order, you move them up slow. But it's a good idea to do it defensively because you don't want him to start hearing those noises and feel the pressure. Let him relax. And so far, he's looked pretty good out there. So I like the way they're handling this. Some people will think, well, if you start pulling him now, he's going to lose confidence. No, we're going to let him earn his confidence, play a position he hasn't played a ton of, and then we'll leave him out there.
I think you lose confidence much more if you make a glaring error late in the game, especially early in the year.
So 3-2 on Mitchell.
Mark Leiter pitched a scoreless inning opening day with 2 strikes out, used his curveball and his split, really effective. The #1 split in baseball. Hitters hit .099 off that last year.
Strike 3. Mitchell down looking.
I think Mitchell was listening to your scouting report.
That's
he took
right.
a fastball right down the middle. Huh?
And that's the one thing that I've seen from Mark this spring. He's got more velocity. I know it is still spring, right? Yeah, it's spring.
Yeah.
Feels like winter, but it's spring. But he's got a little bit more on his fastball, which should help his slow curve and his split.
Oh. Ortiz takes inside. Now, when Leiter came over in the trade last year, he struggled a little bit. But, boy, he opened some eyes in the postseason where he really stepped up and got really big outs for the Yankees. Probably taking some of that confidence that he gained into the season this year as Judge puts away the fly ball by Ortiz.
Well, watching him pitch in Chicago, the one thing that I saw from him was nerves of steel. They brought him in every tough situation. Runners on first and second, one out. Bases loaded, nobody out. He was the guy that you felt good. It wasn't going to be too much for mentally and was able to make big pitches. Coming here, though, a team he probably grew up cheering for, maybe he put a little bit too much pressure on himself. He could pitch.
Well, it kind of runs in the family. His dad was like that, and if you watched Al Leiter, his uncle, some of the biggest games he ever pitched, he excelled. Game 7 of a World Series, the one-game playoff against the Reds when he was with the Mets. I mean, he just dealt, so it doesn't seem like they get fazed by pressure.
So you're saying that's a gene you can pass on?
I guess it is.
Actually changed his number this year, Michael. Wear the same number as his father, number 56.
Yep.
As a Yankee, that was his father's number.
Two and one on Oliver Dunn. And his cousin Jack won his first major league game for the Texas Rangers the other night against Boston. Pitched very, very well and pitched great in spring training. Throwing like 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, 8 pitches in a row. He's been dealing.
Is that good?
That's pretty good.
Just average these days.
Yeah, everyone's got 100. That's the pitch I think is the difference maker for Mark here too, is that slow curveball. People do not swing at it a lot. They take it all the time, and he's found a way to throw it for strikes to get ahead in the count where he doesn't have to show his split.
I don't know why that pitch is really kind of fallen from grace in the game. Fried has a good one when he's on. The slow curve early in the count, hitters aren't looking for it. They will take it. You don't even have to throw a great one. Now, using it for a strikeout pitch, it better be a little bit better.
Swing and a miss, a strong inning for Mark Leiter Jr. 3 in a row, 2 strikeouts. And at the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead this one by a score of 7-3, but we're going to stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps and direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Private, 90-year-old Angelo Rossi from Somerset, New Jersey, who served in the Korean War. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white before. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.
7-5-0 for the Yanks, 3-5-0 for Milwaukee. Savali lasted 3. Jake Bauers with a 2-run home run off the right field screen. Marcus Stroman, 2 outs into the 5th. And Aaron Judge, well, it's another day. It's another home run. He scored 3 runs, and he's walked twice today as well. New pitcher for the Brewers, Joel Payamps. This will be his second game of the series. 68 games last year. You see the numbers, the strikeout per inning. And we'll start it off with Ben Rice. 8-9-1 in the Yankee order. Swing and a miss.
Had a 1.03 ERA his last 30 appearances. Talk about being big down the stretch.
Yeah, you got hot. Pitchers get hot just like hitters do.
Since joining Milwaukee in 2023, a 2.77 ERA for Payamps. He's been really good since coming over from Oakland in a 9-player, 3-team trade that also brought William Contreras to the Brewers. That's a pretty good trade from Milwaukee.
He's got a little snarl.
Mm-hmm. Base hit past a lunging Turang into right field. So Ben Rice is 2 for 3 today.
You know, one thing that extra strength does, and maybe the little bit extra bat speed, it sounds like he breaks his bat here, but he's strong enough still to get it by a gold glove, a platinum glove winner in Turang because of his strength.
Let's see where this ball hits. Yeah, in towards the label. Not a good sound, but again, you're driving the ball a little bit harder. Ball finds its way through the infield.
Here's Cabrera. There's a strike. Cabrera lined out to right and struck out. And there's a base hit to right. Cutting over is Frelick. He'll fire to second, and the Yankees are playing the corners. First and third, nobody out.
Well, you can't do it better. After a sinker in, now a cutter in, Cabrera gets to it. Just a tremendous at bat right here to be able to drive this ball to right field.
Look how he uses his legs and keeps his head down on the ball. That keeps him from topping. If that head comes up a little bit, he tops that ball, and that's a ground ball to first base. Again, good base running by the Yankees. Get that little beehive going. First to third, first to third. Yeah, I mean, this is Ben Rice, and you know, he's not the fastest catcher in the league. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think it's these things are brought up in spring training. Hey, this year, when the ball's hit, you're on first base. You're going to initially think first or third every single time until you figure out that you 100% I can't make it.
And you got to understand, number one, the arm in right field or anywhere in the outfield. You got to understand where they're playing. He knew he had to go to his left. So initially, when he knows he has to go to his left, he's going to third base. If it was hit right at him, he probably doesn't go. But you got to know all of those things as a base runner. Where they're playing, how deep they are, what's their arm, are they accurate? Because there'll be guys with good arms but are slow getting rid of it, and you can take advantage of them.
1-2. That one is looped into right center. It dunks in for a base hit. Scoring is Rice. Cabrera will go to third. It's an RBI single for Goldschmidt. Yankees 8, Milwaukee 3.
Wow, this looked like an intentional at-bat to go the other way. He waited and waited and got a ball inside and just fought it off. But a great at-bat just to get another run home. Breaking ball. Watch how late he waits and just pushes it the other way. But it's a great way to drive in a run. Pulls his hands in.
So that'll bring up Cody Bellinger. He is 0 for 3 this afternoon. Tried out every outfielder. Take a look at the optimum don't take slow for an answer replay. And this is the catch that he made.
Great jump on the ball, and he just stays with it. And the other thing about Cody is he's very good at getting rid of the ball, and he's got a very accurate arm. Just an outstanding play early in the game. Marcus Stroman showed him a little bit of love because he really appreciated it. It looked like it was going to be a for sure double, and he ran it down.
So Bellinger is 4 for 10 so far in the early going. 0 for 3 today. And after a long conference at the mound, Payamp starts him out with a breaking ball outside. Cabrera at third, Goldschmidt's at first. 1-1.
Well, you're going to see that Cabrera gets a pretty big lead here, but with a left-handed hitter, the catcher's got an open throwing lane. You really got to rely on your third base coach to let you know to get back if they're going to try a pickoff. So I was always uncomfortable getting a big lead because I was afraid that I was going to get picked. Especially with nobody out, you can't get picked. Can't let them turn a double play, right? You can't do that, but you can't get picked off here. Usually get a lead is about as big as the third baseman is away from third base.
I always thought the most important thing was when that ball got into the hitting area, you wanted to be on your front foot. So if you needed to go on a pass ball or a chopper or something like that, that you were already going towards home plate.
Driven into center field. Mitchell back, still back, drifting back and makes the play on the warning track. Tagging Cabrera. He'll score easily on the sac fly by Bellinger. And the Yankees keep building on the lead. It's 9-3. That'll bring up Judge, and it brings us to the Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, you might have put an S on the end of that moment because he's had a lot of them here early in the series. I mean, he is just on fire. Another home run today. And back at the plate.
3 runs scored for Judge. So the home run that Paul talked about, an intentional walk and then a more traditional walk, and he scored on both of them. 6 for 11 this year, 4 home runs and 11 ribbies. Oh, 2.
I don't know if I've ever heard an MVP chant in the third game of the year.
That's the funny thing you say that. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, we do have a ways to go, but he's off to a pretty good start.
Oh, yeah. He's halfway to a good month in 3 days.
Yeah, there's guys in the game, and I used to always kind of be envious of the guys that could get, put this many numbers up that quick. I mean, and then there were guys that, you have to grind day in and day out. By the end of the month, you put up some numbers, but some guys have the ability, they can just put up a week's worth of numbers, and it looks like a month.
So I say, like, he's got, half a month. If he does 8 and 22 every month, he's at 48 and 132.
That's quick math there, Parker.
Yeah. And walking him hasn't helped him because of what guys have done behind him. Jazz has had a good day, a homer and a single after a walk, so a couple of RBIs there.
And he walks again for the 3rd time. That moves Goldschmidt to second.
Looks so comfortable taking those close pitches now. And that was right when he came to the major leagues. Every once in a while, you need to leave the strike zone. He is so much improved at just swinging at strikes.
There are many players in the world that can hit behind Judge that would make you say, okay, I'm going to pitch to Judge rather than that guy. I mean, you look at Ohtani, might make people think. Maybe Soto might make people think. So since those 2 guys aren't on the Yankees, what you have to do is make the team pay for walking Judge. But nobody's going to go, I'd rather pitch to Judge than Jazz Chisholm or Cody Bellinger. It's just not the way it works.
Right, and that's why I kind of love the way the team's set up now. I mean, 1 through 9, it looks like you're getting production. And you know what? There's going to be opportunities, and Aaron Judge has had them, and he's done a lot with them where, you know, you can't pitch around him. But when you do, there's other sources of offense going on in the Yankee lineup right now.
We always talk about the guys behind Aaron Judge. To me, the more important guys are the guys in front that they can't pitch around him.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. You have a runner on first. It's hard to intentionally walk a hitter.
Sure.
Two and 2 on Chisholm. Jazz with a 2-run home run, and then a single and another run scored in the 6th.
Contreras is probably thinking, well, we haven't gotten him out in 5 years. Goldie at second, so maybe try to pick him off.
3 and 2. High drive, right field. See ya. A 3-run home run for Jazz Chisholm. The balls just keep flying out in the Bronx.
Well, you can only hope that this Yankee offense is showing what they're going to do this year. I mean, they just continue to put people on to hit home runs. And the question on this is, was it going to stay fair? You saw the body language at the plate. And Chisholm having fun here in the Bronx.
Well, he hit 11 home runs in only 46 games last year. I mean, I think if he gets 81 games here, he's going to hit a lot of home runs. And he's going to get a lot of opportunities because he plays against left-handers and right-handers, and he keeps this ball fair. Look at that. Statue of Liberty.
You can try to steer it with your body, get a different angle to keep it inside that pole.
You know, there's a great story in The Athletic by Chris Kirchner about Jazz Chisholm's time in Miami, where he was not really treated well and really was abused by some of his teammates because of his free spirit nature. And one of the things that just freed Jazz up when he came to the Yankees, Aaron Boone pretty much said, "You be you. We're all right with what you are. If you know, the flair, the swag, whatever, the swagger." And I think he's benefited from it, Joe. He seems like he loves it here.
Definitely. Joe Torre talked about that all the time. You allow players to be themselves as long as it's not detrimental to the team. And Jazz is not detrimental to the team. He brings a ton of energy. He's going to make you laugh. He's going to be productive offensively, defensively, on the bases. And you're going to love him as a teammate. Now, if you're on the other team, sometimes you're not going to love him.
Yep.
But if he's on your team, you're going to absolutely love his energy.
And in that story, Jazz is a sneakerhead, and he designs his own sneakers, and he has like designs on them. And there were teammates that were cutting up the sneakers, and he's a big Oreo cookie fan. They poured milk in his sneakers, and it got so bad that Don Mattingly, the manager, had to call the team meeting and said, "This has to stop.
Yeah.
This just has to stop."
I mean, just because someone's not like you doesn't mean that you don't allow them to be themselves. And I think it's a great lesson. As a teammate, not everyone's going to be like you. As a coach, a manager, as a broadcaster, not everyone's going to be like you. But if it works for them, let it work.
Jazz's 6 multi-home run game. He had 3 with the Marlins and 403 total games. He has 3 with the Yankees, 49 total games. Anthony Volpe gets moved back.
The ball riding up and in. Anthony Volpe kind of on top of the plate. All of a sudden, that'll get your attention.
Yeah, Payamps has always had that run to his fastball. See it there. It's just the other one was up, and it always looks a lot closer when it's up. It is closer to your eyes number one, but it always looks like it's a lot more in than it is usually.
Well, you pick it up as a hitter. You know what? You see the spin and you see the tail coming to you. It's not like you're going to sit and wait around. You're going to get out of the way.
And a check swing as Volpe works a walk. So you saw that. Did they just call him out? Oh, the first base ump called him out, Junior Valentine. Volpe was about a third of the way to first base. Thought it was ball 4, but they said he went around on that check swing. Well, I don't know about that.
I wouldn't be real happy about that one. Wow.
That's shocking.
Oh, that irritates me just looking at the umpire ring you up. Huh?
Well, that's going to do it for Piumps. And we'll get a first look at Trevor McGill, their closer. First time he'll pitch this season for Milwaukee. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. And by Mohegan Sun, something's always happening at Mohegan. So we showed you the stat earlier in the inning. 36 runs over the first 3 games. The most the Yankees have ever scored in the first 3 games of the season. And now they still want more. It's still the bottom of the 7th. Trevor McGill comes on. 21 of 24 in saves last year when Devin Williams was out injured. And that's when they knew they had a closer and they could deal Devin Williams in the last year of his contract.
Well, he will touch 100. And he's also got a knuckle curveball and a slider to go with it. And the slider has really good depth, but he's got really good arm speed. And
hey, when you throw 100, your arm's pretty quick, huh? You can see in his windup, he kind of leans back and he is just going to let it go. Watch his upper body go towards the Yankee dugout when he's at the top, and then he's just coming over the top as hard as he can.
I tell you what, it would have been tough in Little League facing him and his brother Tyler over at the Mets. He was hitting 100 a couple of years ago.
One and one on Wells. Wells 0 for 3 today.
It almost makes me feel like if the score stays the same after 8, they're going to, the bottom of the 8th, they'll use a position player again because they play tomorrow. And he's the only pitcher that hasn't worked. Here's your windup, lean back and let it fly, huh?
Yeah, it just drives that, you know, by leaning back, it just drives that arm. It's going, it's coming hard.
Tim Raines would say, you better get that foot down.
That's right. Your leg kick, get it down because you're going to have to swing quick.
High fly ball. Mitchell puts it away, and that'll do it. Yankees put up 5 here in the 7th. All weekend it's been rock and roll for the Yankees, but today it's a little jazz as he hits 2 home runs. Another one here in the 7th. 12-3 Yanks. Well, Tuesday night on Yes, the Yankees kick off a 3-game set with the Arizona Diamondbacks here at the stadium. Coverage begins at 6 with Audi batting practice and the pregame. Then first pitch will be just after 7 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Fernando Cruz, his Yankee debut. Hyundai scoreboard 12-3 Yankees lead as we go to the 8th inning.
Really high strikeout rate last year. Walks a few too many home runs. He was susceptible to it, but he has a great split as well. 3rd highest strikeout rate in baseball last year, 37.8. The soft tosser Mason Miller was number 1, about 102, and Edwin Diaz was number 2.
Well, when you hit home runs, you can have fun. He's having fun with Pat Rossler, the assistant hitting coach of the Yankees.
Taking a bite out of his arm.
Yeah.
And Bryce Terang walks against Cruz. And, you know, Joe told you about all the strikeouts, but the issue is that sometimes he does lose the strike zone and walks people. Talk about a guy, though, he's thrilled to be a Yankee. He is just euphoric when you talk to him about putting on those pinstripes. Came over in the deal with the Reds when the Yankees sent Trevino there.
Hey, you talk about giving up a few home runs. You got to remember, Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. It's a home run park, so it's kind of skewed a little bit.
I would say it's one of the better ones in the league if you want to hit some homers.
Yep.
A little better than Riverfront?
Oh, yeah. Riverfront was the old cookie cutter ballpark, just like Three Rivers, just like in Philadelphia. Just kind of a normal ballpark, AstroTurf, but Great American Ballpark on the river there, Michael. We've done a few games there. We're going to do them this year.
That's
too.
right.
Yeah, great hitters park.
Really smart move there by Cabrera and by Chisholm, and the rest of the infield joins in. Go talk to him, settle him down, because obviously pitching for the Yankees is a big deal for him, and he's a little bit out of whack right now.
He's in the...
Yeah, you look where you're talking about the barrel of the bat. See, that's a little towards the label. This also, both of them ended up in the seats.
First one, he hit like 109 miles an hour. It was a rocket.
Well, whatever they said in that meeting, he does throw a strike there. 2-1 on Churio. Yankees up by 9. They won 20-9 yesterday. They're leading 12-3 today. They won 4-2 on opening day. Pop foul and out of play.
Well, the Yankees in games against Milwaukee, at Milwaukee, scored 30 runs in back-to-back games. And you think, oh, it can't get any worse.
You know, you think about it. I mean, Milwaukee comes in here, and it's kind of awkward, not awkward, but odd to interleague series opening day here. But Milwaukee's a good team. They're going to be at the top of their division before the year's over. So the Yankees have put themselves in a great position to sweep a good, solid team here to start the season here at Yankee Stadium.
And, Joe, there's that splitter you were talking about.
Man, it's got such a high swing and miss on it. I mean, hitters hit 116 off of this pitch. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's a split.
Yeah.
Really like it fell off the table.
Yes. That's not fair.
No, and the weird thing is, and you see right there, it slips out of the hand, but the arm, as the hitter's picking up the arm speed, is the same as a fastball. And you commit to it, and then it's nowhere to be found.
There's Vinny Capra pinch hitting for Yelich. That one's popped up. Who's going to get it? Wells says, I'll take it. You know, Joe, we saw that splitter, and we saw the slow angle of it. It almost looked like a forkball. It looked like it was jammed between the fingers rather than a splitter grip.
Yeah, I think because of the velocity, they probably call it a split. But he's got, you know, I mean, he throws it as hard as he can, and that's why he gets the movement. I know some of the distinction between pitches, sometimes I get a little confused. And the big thing is for him to get ahead. I mean, here it is again. I mean, it looks like a Bruce Sutter forkball is what it looks like.
Yeah, a lot of split fingers have a lot of rotation sideways. David Cone could make it go either way. That you saw almost a knuckling effect, which I found even tougher than the true split finger, where you at least could pick up the seams of the baseball.
I mean, that's the pitch he has to be able to throw for a strike, is that slider. If he can make a good pitch with that, again, you're not showing your best pitch, your strikeout pitch, until the end of the at-bat. It's also a really good way to get back in the count, because hitters want to hit the fastball 2-0.
2-2.
You were ducking over here. I couldn't pick it up. It went through the monitor. That thing started ricocheting up here. I was coming your way.
Well, you're the warrior. You shouldn't be too worried.
Yeah, I'm getting out of the way. I got gloves on today, though.
And
might be all right.
And you're big here. I mean, you've always been big here. Mr. Steinbrenner's favorite. You got us a heater underneath.
Fly ball left field. Bellinger backs up. He's there and puts it away. So a scoreless inning for Cruz in his Yankee debut as the Brewers strand one. your local Ford stores. Ford is proud to be the official SUV of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing.
You see how they kind of muted you in that time? That was impressive.
I did see that. Jake Bauers in for the second straight day, so I'm sure he's not going to pitch tomorrow. You don't go 3 days in a row.
No, he's going to let her rip today.
So he had a scoreless inning yesterday. This is his 6th career pitching appearance. And Trent Grisham will get an at-bat against him. Now, the Yankees were talking about he's just under the hitting speed, which is, you don't want a guy throwing 80 there, and now he plunks Grisham. If you're going to get hit, that's the pitch to get hit with. 62-mile-an-hour slider.
Yeah, he hit somebody yesterday, too. Was it Chisholm?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And you talked about when you pitched for the Reds, a 2-inning outing, but you were trying to really throw hard at the beginning.
Yeah, because I was still, I still had memories of pitching in high school, and you could tell that Bauers is just trying to throw strikes and hopefully you hit a ball at somebody. But I took it a little more serious than I should have.
You hurt your arm for a couple of years, right? It didn't bounce back.
Next spring training, it still hurt.
Is that why you kicked the ball the one time?
Yeah, that's
your arm hurt?
The alternative. You can't throw, you might as well kick it.
That one's popped up.
So I'd ask you, who's got priority? A third baseman playing first or the first baseman pitching?
Yeah, you got Bauers, who is an everyday player, so you don't have to call him off as a pitcher.
And has played the outfield, too. You get in these situations as a manager, and I would always go up to the position player and say, please, don't throw hard. Just lob it in there. Because you don't want him to get hurt. Jose Canseco hurt his arm.
Yeah. He did. Remember in Boggs' pitch, he was throwing knuckleballs, though, out in Anaheim then.
Oh, I was glad Joe took me out. He put Jorge in to catch. I was so thankful.
That was a base hit for Oswaldo Cabrera. He's 2 for 4. If you want to have a little laugh today, Joe, just go to Paul O'Neill's baseball reference page.
Oh, yeah?
Where it
Something
says,
important?
Throws right, kicks left.
Oh, here we go. Look at you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Chuck and Duck. What happened? You're allowed to catch it.
You got to hit your location. Remember that? Oh, now they're going to show a home run. How about the strikeouts? Come on, Troy, down in the truck. I had a couple strikeouts.
Who hit the home run?
Ozzie Virgil.
Well, you say that with disgust.
I wasn't. I had lost my heater by then. I was worn out.
And another hit for Paul Goldschmidt. And the Yankees have the bases loaded, so Goldschmidt is 3 for 5, and he has owned the Milwaukee Brewers in his career.
I'll tell you what, he's owned the leadoff spot. You think about what he did yesterday. He was on base 4 times yesterday.
I'm looking at that Milwaukee jersey, Michael. You know who's watching the game today?
Who's that?
Got to be Laverne and Shirley. They're from Milwaukee, right?
Yes.
Huh?
And Lenny and Squiggy.
Lenny and Squiggy.
Big Ragu.
Probably hanging on the couch watching the Yankees beat them up.
Pablo Reyes pinch hitting for Bellinger, pops that one up, and Dunn makes the play. There was so much scoring yesterday, guys, that Jason Zillow, head of media relations for the Yankees, said the Hall of Fame wanted my scorebook. So there it is. I'm glad it was kind of neat, and I guess that's the way I'm going to get to Cooperstown.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
It's impressive. It's like a work of art.
Very honored. Here's Peraza pinch hitting for Judge. So the crowd of 41,803, not very happy right now.
No.
Ground ball to third. And that'll do it. So another scoreless inning for Jake Bauers. 2 scoreless innings, 2 days. We go to the 9th. By Spectrum, 4 home runs for the Yankees today. Hardest hit was by Aaron Judge. Ben Rice, 103.7. Chisholm went both ways. He had a fastball, then a changeup on the second home run, 109 to 99. Major League or Yankee debut for Ryan Yarbrough. And Frelick picks up a base hit. So he is 2 for 4 on the day. Get free MLB.tv with T-Mobile. Redeem today at T-Mobile.com/MLB.
See the numbers by Ryan Yarbrough. Those 98 2/3 are the most by any reliever in baseball last year. Lefties really struggled against him, hitting under 200. And opponent's average was only 201. He was the original bulk guy.
Yeah, down in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Jake Bauer's not careful. He's going to be the bulk guy, or maybe the opener.
That's right. 2 scoreless innings. I mean, it'd be hard to figure. I can't ever remember even hearing about an everyday player pitching back-to-back games. Huh?
It's not good for the team that's throwing him out there, I can tell you that.
Well, the last 2 games, the Yankees have scored in 11 of the 16 innings in which they've batted. So that means 5 innings they didn't score, and 2 of the 5 scoreless innings were by Jake Bauers. But he's probably thinking, you know what? This has worked out for Ohtani. Let me do it.
The only problem is Ohtani throws 100.
It doubled his value.
Yeah.
There's the Yankees' new defensive alignment. Another big day for that guy. Inside. David Wells' old number, a little bit of a different body type.
Slightly.
Left-handed.
They're both lefties, yeah.
Swing and a miss. Bauers down on strikes. Well, fans, after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from the manager. Plus, a look ahead to the series with the Diamondbacks. It's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. Here's Garrett Mitchell. Runner on first, 1 out. 9th inning. Yankees up by 9. They play him to pull in the infield. Volpe not behind the bag, but as far as you can go, staying within the rules. And the third baseman, Peraza, playing where Volpe would be playing. Popped up. Goldschmidt makes the play smoothly. Check out the upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. Monday, off day, then 3 games, all 7:05 against the Diamondbacks here at the stadium. Then the Yankees hit the road, 3 in Pittsburgh, 3 in Detroit. Thursday's an off day, then the Giants come into town.
Michael, I know that Paul is probably not on that road trip to Pittsburgh and Detroit.
Pittsburgh, Detroit in April.
It's me and Mr. Flaherty.
You see this heater he got underneath?
Yeah.
You may want to take that with you.
Yeah, just leave it here for this week. Don't pack it up until we're done.
Yeah, you can pack it up Thursday.
Wow. Michael, you remember we did.
All 1 on Ortiz.
We did a Detroit series one time. It was snowing up there.
Yeah, you were not pleased.
We actually did it with the windows closed.
Yep.
Enough with the crowd noise. We just closed the windows.
Was that the series that David Price started and threw 50 pitches in the first inning?
Could have been.
Yeah, we were there 4 days,
right.
and I don't think it got above 40. And every day we drove to the ballpark, there was snow, like essing down the highway. And I'm like, boy, this is going to be a nice day. But they do play a lot of day games early.
This should do it. Ground ball to Volpe. Pulls Goldschmidt out the bag. He makes the tag, and the Yankees win 12-3. Jazz Chisholm with 2 home runs. Yankees with 4 more home runs after 9 yesterday. Yankees scored 36 runs in this series. The most runs scored by a Major League team through 3 games since 1901. 1954 Cubs 41, 1978 Milwaukee Brewers 40, and this Yankee team you're looking at right now 36.
Well, you know, you couldn't have broke camp at a better time. It just seems like everybody has come to the plate knowing that they're going to do something. I mean, the offense has been unbelievable, but I really like the way the lineup looks like you've got a full team out there. I know Aaron Judge has done amazing things, but you've got some other guys really doing good things at the plate also.
12-3, Yankees sweep the Brewers in the season opening series. They'll enjoy an off day. You enjoy the break, and we'll be back.